Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Vanessa Collins, joined by Ted Ings, and today we have a great panel going to discuss the Northwood Experience. So everyone, please introduce yourselves.
My name is Matt Bennett. I have the privilege of serving as Northwood University's Vice President for Strategic Alliances and our newly launched Center for Automotive and Mobility Studies.
Hi, I'm Kent MacDonald, President here at Northwood University.
I'm Elgie Bright, the Industry Chair for Automotive Marketing and Management.
And I'm David Reinicke, President of Automotive Warranty Network.
Everybody, thank you so much for being with us today. Building a successful career in automotive, it's clear it starts at Northwood University. Kent, if I may come to you, why is that? Why the focus on automotive, and why is that so important?
Great. Well, welcome back to Northwood, Ted. It's great to have you here. It really goes back literally 5 decades when the founders of Northwood went out to industry and said, you know, what are the skills that you really need? And it was way back then that we committed to really serve this industry, and we've had a tremendous track record in automotive, the aftermarket, the full mobility sector, and it's a commitment that we have to attract incredible faculty like Elgie, and then we attract students who want to be in this dynamic industry. You know, it's a $1 trillion industry that needs talent. It's something that we hear over and over and over, and so we've committed, as my colleague Matt will probably talk about a little bit later, is we're going to provide this industry with the best talent that they need in order to be successful, and we do that in a number of ways, but it mostly becomes because of our faculty and the learning experiences that we have, and the literally hundreds of industry partners who have hired our students over the years.
Elgie, the relationships that Northwood students here build are just incredible. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, it's something that we try to introduce right in the first class to make those relationships, to introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, something cool about yourself. Got the wonderful opportunity to work with the campers from Full Tank Camp, going to Mannheim yesterday, the auto auction, and asked several of them to make a relationship and watch them, talking to the lot attendants and the people in the paint shop. And it's just something that can be coached, it can be encouraged, and it pays off as you expand your net worth through your network.
Matt, this really is building the foundation for a successful career.
Well, it really is. I mean, as we tell anybody that visits Northwood or folks we engage, Ted, even when you were on campus during our Super Bowl, right, the 60th anniversary Northwood University Auto Show, Northwood folks are wired a little differently. We have that motor oil or fuel in our veins, and I think that's where it's not only the relationships, but it's the immersive experiences. Not only learning how to do it from a technical standpoint in the classroom, but as Professor Bright and others, Dr. Litzinger in our aftermarket sector, students are getting real world interaction with industry leaders. They're getting hands-on experiences with the likes of our auto shows, so they can not only talk about it, but they can do it, and that's what employers are really salivating over, is the fact that we have students that, the cliche I use, they can play upon getting hired. They don't have to learn how to, but they can contribute to organizations throughout this industry day one.
David, this is your first time at Northwood University, and you're such a big part of the industry with what you do. Nothing more important when working with thousands of dealers. What have you noticed here about Northwood during your visit here?
Well, first of all, it's an excellent campus. It's beautiful here. I've never been to Michigan or here, so it's very nice. I think it's a really good thing what you're doing, because I hear from dealerships coast to coast that there's a shortage of technicians, experienced service personnel. Everybody's looking for staff, so I think it's really a great thing that you guys are focused on building the future of the automotive industry and helping to train people in this industry and grow it and further it along. So
Thank you.
For over the past 6 decades since Northwood's founding, you have established a strong record for being an institution that propels students forward into a successful career, particularly in the automotive industry. So what does that look like now in 2024?
Yeah, I think it has a couple of elements. One is the technical side of what's learned in the classroom, the experiences, the opportunity to go out to industry in the summer and really get to know people and what the industry is all about. And that's one part. The part that we are also very proud of is the type of education and a belief system that we have here at Northwood. We're unapologetic about what we think the country needs in terms of graduates, students who practice what we call the Northwood idea: personal responsibility, the importance of free enterprise and rule of law. So we're producing not only students who are exposed to the industry and want to be in it, but we're also developing a graduate with grit and resilience and maturity, and those are the people that I think employers want. I mean, just Vanessa, just like you, the ability to put your hand out, look at someone in the eye, have a conversation, those are tremendously important skills to have. And so when you mix all of that together, I think that's really what our success has been over, as you pointed out, a long time.
Absolutely. As a student, I can definitely attest to getting a great education here, not even just in automotive, but gaining those people skills in general. It's great.
Yeah.
Vanessa, I like that word that President MacDonald used, grit, okay?
Grit.
Yeah, you've got, Matt, you could feel that, okay, in the interactions here.
It aligns with that motor oil in our veins. I mean, our folks are not afraid, as Professor Bright instills in them day one in a class, to get dirty, shake a hand, look people in the eye, as Dr. MacDonald mentioned, and really build relationships. Because I was actually just on a podcast a couple weeks ago with an industry leader, and we talked about how uniquely connected this industry is, right? You've heard the phrase 6 degrees of separation, or Kevin Bacon. The automotive industry, it's more like 2 or 1.5. So you never burn bridges, but our folks learn right away that those relationships make a dynamic impact in their careers, not only for their first job, but for their 7th job. Or, as students at Northwood know, when they start their own company, as 35 to 30, about a third of our graduates have a hand in their own business. So there's opportunities abound for that relationship building in all that they do.
Elgie, talk to us about the importance of having a robust and passionate, a pipeline, if you will, of graduates coming out into the industry.
Well, it's great from several perspectives. One is that generosity. Our alumni are so generous and giving back in time, talent, treasure, and want to see the success of those that come behind them. And second of all, in their careers, they're employers. And to see young people that not only have the Northwood idea, but also have, and I'll use that word, grit, the persistence, the resiliency. We know what's going on in the industry right now. To be able to overcome, to get up every day and say, what opportunity, what problem, what issue can I make a difference in? And that is really important. So that pipeline is solid on both ends, not only the alumni, but also those that are coming off the campus.
And Kent, it really is a people business, and you really focus on the people here.
Yeah, look, the ability to build relationships, have conversations. Look, great things happen in the classroom, but I also think it's our reputation. We've attracted students, and we just kind of mold them a little bit after they arrive here with people like Professor Bright. And then again, everything that we know about learning. Classrooms are important, but deep, rich learning occurs when the students leave the classroom, go out into industry, fall down a few times, scrape their knees, learn from that, and then they are ready to make an impact in whatever organization it is right upon graduation. And again, you know, as Elgie points out, we literally have people coming here every year in private jets to attract and hire our students. Employment is not an issue. We're proud of that. And look, we're not the biggest university in the country, but we think we're an important one, particularly for this industry.
And David, the importance of people, young people coming into industry. Talk, because you're squarely in that. You see that with what the dealers' needs are out there.
Yeah, I think, you know, going back to the people skills and the interaction, I think that's something that's really missing in, you know, the upcoming generation. So just, you know, being able to teach that and cultivate, you know, being able to shake somebody's hand and have a conversation, and an intelligent conversation about, in the industry. So something that's very needed, and you know, it's great that you guys are focused on helping to build that up and coming generation in the auto industry.
And I'll say it goes beyond the automotive and aftermarket programs. It's our finance, our supply chain management, our cybersecurity. All of those students are exposed to this industry, and as you know, the talent is required in all of those areas.
Absolutely.
Last but not least, what is on the horizon for Northwood University?
Well, we have a big announcement in October that Matt and Professor Bright are going to lead, so maybe I could leave that with you two.
Well, I think, one, the face of the automotive marketing and management curriculum is no other than Elgie Bright. I mean, he has been an ambassador for this program. I'm a little biased because he was way back in the day my first recruit for the world's only dealership executive MBA back in the late 2000s. So once I recruited Elgie Bright from GM to join the DeVos Graduate School of Management, the gateways opened. We recruited a great class. He's done a remarkable effort there, but we're really working to really leverage all of the talent out there and provide training, education at all levels for this multi-trillion-dollar automotive mobility business, industry. Under Elgie's leadership and under Dr. Thomas' leadership in our aftermarket programs, we really are trying to serve as the epicenter for automotive and mobility education across the gamut. So Elgie, anything you want to add to that? I mean, we're working on a lot of things.
Well, Matt and Vanessa, the immediate is the full tank automotive camp, and I'm dressed like a camper today to try to fill that pipeline with high school students that are out with marketing managers from dealerships on our campus. So the pipeline, Ted, it's strong, and to see the successful dealers come back and work with high school students, I feel like a coach, Matt. I feel like a coach to be able to not only recruit these young people for the industry, Northwood specifically, but we have young people that want to be engineers, that want to be technicians, that want to be designers, and to be able to speak into their lives about how important it is to sell and service those vehicles, I think that's important for the industry also.
Well, everybody, we're very grateful to you and Northwood University, President MacDonald, for allow us to come in and do this event here and interact with your students and see firsthand what's happening here at Northwood. So thank you very much for that.
You're welcome anytime. Thank you to you and your team, Ted. Thank you.
Everybody, we are at Northwood University. We are in Midland, Michigan. Please stay with us at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We have a lot more coming up. We're going to be right back.
I'm out here today appraising and buying cars from total strangers using just two things: our Accu-Trade mobile app and our Bluetooth OBD2 scanner. That's all we need in order to give them a 100% instant offer guaranteed by Accu-Trade. So let's tell Maeve what her vehicle is worth and what we're willing to write you a check for.
Let's do it. No way!
Right?
No! I might want my check.
We can. That's all it takes.
welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We are here at Northwood University, and we have the Northwood University International Auto Show panel. I'm Katrina Ness, the operations chair of the show, joined by my peers and Vanessa Collins.
Like Katrina said, I'm Vanessa Collins, and I am the marketing chair this year for our auto show. And to start, if everyone, right down the line, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do here at Northwood and the auto show.
I am Southwick. I'm an incoming sophomore in the fall, and I am going to be the head of the European division for our upcoming show this year.
I'm Alex Mazon. I'm our general chair this year. I'll be studying at our DeVos School of Graduate School of Management.
Hi, my name is Brooke Engelhardt. I am going to be a senior this year at Northwood University, and I am the Chief Marketing Officer of this year's auto show.
My name is Michael Shtutman. I'm a third-year student here at Northwood, and I'm the Marketing Innovations Chair for our upcoming auto show.
So I'll start off with a very basic question. What is the Northwood University International Auto Show?
Sure, I'll take that one. So the Northwood University International Auto Show is a fully and complete student-ran auto show, starting at the top with the general chair and leading down to our team members here. We have 20 executive board members. We manage about 450 cars on campus and a few $1 million on our campus, which sometimes can be a little stressful, but we managed to work it out. It's like I mentioned before, from top to bottom, it's completely student ran. Whether that's team members, captains, our team, and this goes down from financials to marketing to just everyday decisions. So yeah.
Like you said, Mazon, it's 100% student ran. So my next question is, what does it mean to have a show this large be student ran?
Well, I think that it really shows how much responsibility the students of Northwood can take on, and it really shows what Northwood prepares us for. And being completely hands-off from faculty and staff really just shows how much faith and trust they put in us to put on a good show. So,
yeah, I mean, I'll sort of add on to what Mike said. For the students, it means the world. To run one of the largest, or not one of the largest outdoor new car show in North America, to have that privilege is an honor. So, I mean, when you get feedback that someone enjoyed your show more than the Detroit International Auto Show, it means the world.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the highlights of our entire school year here at Northwood. It's a great way everybody gets involved with it, no matter what you do here.
Yeah, not just the year. I mean, I saved my Northwood career. This will be my 5th auto show coming up, and yesterday I was watching a video from years past, and I sort of got a little choked up because I was like, oh my God. And the video is about like a little send off from our previous general chair. And I was like, that's going to be me in October. And so being 5 years in a row, having this opportunity to do what I love, it's insane. So I don't know how I'm going to leave it behind, but we still got a few months of planning. So yeah.
We're ready for a great show. So Chase, I'll ask you this question. Who is all involved in the show, and how do you get involved?
So you can really be involved in the show no matter what, your role is at Northwood, no matter what your major is, no matter, what your year is at Northwood. I mean, I started out as just a team captain. We have team captains that run each individual automotive brand, and then you can be a member of that team. The captain kind of oversees, and then we have, like myself, divisional heads who are the head of the individual European, domestic, Asian, and specialty divisions. They handpick the captains of the brands, and then the brand captains pick their team members. So, no matter what you do here at Northwood, you can be involved in the show.
Awesome. Now, Brooke, you started as a team member and worked your way all the way up to Chief Marketing Officer on the executive board. That's awesome. So my question for you is, what are the requirements to be a student volunteer at the show?
Yeah, so to be a student volunteer for the Northwood University International Auto Show, it requires that you be a full-time student here at Northwood University. And then from there, that's pretty much it. I mean, anybody with any major can be a part of the auto show. I personally am not an automotive marketing and management major. I'm a marketing major with a digital marketing minor. So it really shows that you don't have to be an automotive major to be a part of this wonderful event. You could be a healthcare management major, you could be an accounting major, and you can really put your creative aspects into the show in your own specific ways.
Yeah, and I'll touch on that a little bit. I mean, across the board, we have all majors. Sports management majors, our team members, captains, finance majors, team members, captains. Obviously, we have the financial side to the show. So our CFO, Connor Bactiel, he couldn't make it here today. but he's an insurance and finance major. So, I mean, you really could do anything with any major, and there's endless opportunities and experiences that the show brings you.
Yeah. Now, a question about external involvement. If a company or an outside brand wants to be involved in the show in terms of sponsoring or just bring vehicles to the show and have their own booth, how do they do so?
So it's really simple. They can actually visit us online at auto.northwood.edu and click the How to Support tab. There'll be 2 links. One is more of a corporate sponsor and the other more a personal sponsor. So yeah, very simple.
Yeah, and then there's also several opportunities within that website. In our aftermarket division, every year our aftermarket students go to Apex SEMA, the show down in Las Vegas for the past few years. And there's an amazing opportunity that you can send a student actually from not just our auto show, but just our aftermarket program in general. And that's included there. And so basically that's called the 2-tier sponsorship, where you get to bring your company to our auto show and then send one of our students to SEMA. So it's a pretty unique opportunity.
Yeah.
Alex, you said this is going to be your 5th auto show. So my question is, what is one thing you have learned about the automotive industry just in college, since you've technically been in it for 5 years being in this auto show?
Sure. One thing I learned about automotive, that's pretty hard to narrow it down to one. But I'd say something that Northwood really drives home is the connections and the valuable connections you make through your time here. You often hear it's not what you know, it's who you know. And it's really driven here just through experiences. I mean, I've been to HJW, I've been to NADA, NIADA, just through the experiences here and who I've met at Northwood. I mean, we have amazing people come in every week for class. Patrick Janes from Cox Automotive, Mike Stoll from CDK, Reynolds and Reynolds. I mean, we have so many family and friends here at Northwood. I mean, it's truly amazing.
So I have another question, kind of going off of that and connections and stuff. What have you guys each individually gained from the auto show and from Northwood as a whole? We can start down the line at Chase.
Well, what I like about Northwood that's really different than any other college experience is the valuable, real world information that you get. Like a lot of our professors at Northwood, they have come out of the fields that they are teaching. Like they actually were business owners, so they did work in the automotive industry. So you gain that really nice real world knowledge from your professors here at Northwood, which I like.
Yeah, I'll sort of add on to that. What comes with that is experiential learning. So, going to the dealerships, visiting the dealerships, working with some of these CRM, DMS companies, learning their software in our class. I mean, it's not just reading textbooks, it's applying your studies, it's applying your knowledge, it's going out and visiting people. I mean, it's truly amazing.
Absolutely. And to back off of both of you, Chase and Alex, one thing that I've also learned at Northwood that has applied to the auto show as well with experiential learning and real world experiences is definitely the part of that you start your major classes day one, which is truly inspirational. I mean, my first class ever was Principles of Marketing with automotive professor Elgie here at Northwood University, and it was a truly interesting course, and I fully loved that course, getting to know Elgie, but also my peers, and building off of those connections with my peers and truly growing my network.
Yeah, the one thing that I think Northwood's gonna give you that no other school can is the true, real experiences, actively doing it in front of real professionals, and it's second to none. They really pride themselves on it, and it's real, it's true. We lived it. So,
and then I guess one last thing on that question is going back to experiences. Northwood, here at Northwood, we really do get headhunted for jobs and internships.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a single summer where I haven't had an internship opportunity, employment opportunity, and I mean, shout out Elgie Bright. He's a man of connections, but Northwood really does provide experiences second to none. I mean, career fairs, people you meet, just to go back and hound on the connections part. But yeah, it's truly awesome.
I always say if you put yourself out there here, you will have endless opportunities, and that's really what Northwood pushes.
Yeah, you write your own ticket.
That's so true. Stay tuned, we have a lot more coming. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Northwood's beautiful campus for this panel. And yes, of course, if you are interested in sponsoring the event or just want to learn more about it in general, feel free to visit nuias.northwood.edu, and we hope to see you all October 4th through the 6th.
You might have noticed that the Fixed Ops Roundtable is on the move, and that's because we are now hosting pop-up events. We are on our way to a dealership near you with spontaneous events in amazing dealership spaces to highlight the hard-working people in retail service, parts, and dealership-wide. Stay up to date with where we are headed next by following the Fixed Ops Roundtable on social media.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Katrina Ness with Teddings, and we are here with the Appraisal and Reconditioning panel. We have Patrick Janes from vAuto Cox Automotive and Shon Kingrey from Kaiser Automotive.
Everybody, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Thank you for being here. Patrick, great to see you again.
Thank you.
Patrick, talk to us about some things like features and functionality that are missing from appraisal tools today.
Well, you know, at Cox Automotive, we have the Kelley Blue Book brand, right? So we do a lot of consumer research, and the one we did recently was kind of enlightening. So remember when we were all freaked out about customers only visiting 1.5 dealerships, you know, when they did their shopping, and we're like, oh my gosh, they're not coming to 3, 4 dealerships like they used to. Well, I'll give you another one, all right? So the average person going to trade their car today already has 2.6 offers in their pocket for that trade-in.
Wow.
So I think that's kind of shifted the consumer. And I'll go a step further since we're at Northwood here with, you know, young people amongst us. The Gen Ys, all right, 30% of them have 4 to 6 offers in their pocket. So they're even shopping deeper when it comes to trading in their car. So I think that has made us at vAuto and Inventory Management Solutions try to rethink how we can support dealers with trying to adopt these trade-ins in the marketplace.
And it shined a lot of light on how important the appraisal is in the sales process.
Absolutely.
Another question is, how important is OBD2 data in the appraisal process?
I'm going to defer to this guy here because he's more technical than I am when it comes to that. And he's on the front line.
I think the OBD2 process is integral, and this whole subject is really something I'm very passionate about. If you have the chance to scan a car on appraisal, listen, I'm not saying buyers are liars or that cliche is out there, but it's true. If they can hide a code, they're going to hide a code, and there's a way to do it. But now the systems are so sophisticated, you can't hide it for long. It's going to store that code. It's going to be there. You know, disconnecting the negative battery cable to make that go away, it's kind of a thing of the past. It's going to be there. And you talk about appraisals and where silos happen inside of a dealership and the walls grow. The walls could stop between used cars and service because of the appraisal. Because if you know it's got a bad transmission, we don't want it coming back in 2 months and everybody's taking a bite of that. It's not good for anybody.
You know, vAuto, we have to do two things. One, we need to help you win the car, win the deal, but we also, because we're providing you with technology and solutions, we want to protect the dealer from making a bad decision.
Correct.
So we are really rethinking our whole appraisal process and the solution that we have to be able to integrate that type of technology, the OBD2, to make sure that you can have it all in the same place when you're making that decision to be able to appraise that car. And I think that's where the technology is really evolving, and it's going to help dealers make better decisions, but also eventually lead to a better presentation to the consumer so that we can get those cars that we desperately need.
So Patrick, let me ask you first, and then I'll come to Shon on the retail side, this question. What additional data do you include when you communicate the appraisal amount to the customer?
So I think at vAuto, we've, pride ourselves in having great local market data and providing insights, because we believe that you should know what you're going to retail the car for before you decide what you're going to pay for it, right? We preach that all the time. And so I think we've done really well at identifying that retail opportunity, where I think we can help dealers, and I'm sure Shon's got some really good insights on this, of how to identify what the cost is going to be in order to figure out what you need to pay for the car, right? Those reconditioning expenses, identifying damage on the car more thoroughly. We talked about, the OBD2, any mechanical issues that may be hidden there. And that's where we're digging in deeper, because we think that we need better integration, better guides for the dealer or the appraiser, which is not always a guy that is an expert like yourself. It may just be a salesperson with a mobile app walking around the car, and making sure that that feedback's coming back to the appraiser so they can make better decisions.
Well, I think accountability is the key word here. Now with vAuto and the appraisals, you have a salesperson out there taking 102 pictures of the car, and the used car manager may never even go out and see the car. And when it gets inside the shop and you realize it's got 3 different color greens and it's got unmatched tires, which you can't certify car on, those are things that if you'd caught at the appraisal, will kill a deal. That makes that used car a boat anchor is what it makes. And again, it creates that silo in the wall. And like, well, you're just trying to bury the car. You're trying to make me marry the car. We're not. It just is what it is. But the salesperson's worried about selling the car. Yeah. They're not worried about what happens to that trade.
Right. So what values do you use to come up with the final appraisal number?
I mean, what we try to get dealers to steer away from is, part of Cox Automotive is Manheim Auto Auction, right? And everybody loves a good MMR value, right? The Manheim Market Report that says, here's what this car is worth at wholesale. Well, guess what? Most of the cars we're trying to trade in, we're not thinking about wholesaling. Right. So we try to get them off of that wholesale number, because they have to win the car from the customer. So we try to get them to look at that retail value and then work their way back. The key is, they still have to cover all those expenses and the investment that they need to make. And I think that's what's important. And what we also found in that KBB research is that the consumer now wants you to explain why you deducted the amount you did from that car's value for some of those damage items. They just want transparency and explanation. And so we're hoping to help the dealer identify those things more in a line item approach, rather than saying, hey, every car we bring in, on average, we spend $1,500 in reconditioning. Well, you're going to miss a lot of cars if that's your, the way you subtract from your retail value and come up with the offer for the customer. So we are, again, reinventing our appraisal solution, and we are going to deliver something by NADA this year. So we're excited about that. But I think it's really going to help our customers and our clients really deliver a better number and a convincing number to the consumer, which in my mind, we have not done a great job in the past. We kind of left that to the dealer. You go sell them on the number. We'll give you a good number, but you go sell them the number. And I think we can do a better job by giving the dealer some tools to be able to convince the consumer that it's the right number for the car.
Right.
I think you can go a step further where whether you're an NCM person or you're an NADA person, you have a line item in your books that show you what average recon is, okay? You need to go back into vAuto and see what was set up on the car when they did the appraisal. Oh, the car needs $400. Well, again, if it's got 3 different shades of green and it needs tires, then you have to hold people accountable that there was a separation there. And generally speaking, you'll find when, again, where the silos come from, if the appraisal and the actual recon were so far apart, that's always the people that have the highest policy, because eventually you're gonna have to fix the car at some point.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You know, Shon, as a follow-up, in the past, appraisals were really not such a scientific type thing, but now Cox Automotive is changing the game, adding technology and a blend of technologies to really give us data and analytics now to really make it more of a scientific approach.
Right, and Ted, I'm telling you, on the fixed op side, we don't want that controversy. We don't want you coming back and saying, oh, you missed this, you missed this, you missed this. And we don't want the client back upset that you missed this and you missed all these things. We'd rather do it on the front side. It's easier for everybody.
John, you made an earlier point. You said, it's that salesperson out there walking around the car, and then the appraiser doesn't necessarily even see the car. But what's in it for the salesperson to take the time to really identify all these issues? They don't want the confrontation, right? Because they have to explain it to them. And so again, this is where we think vAuto, we can do a better job of the payoff for taking the time to appraise the car effectively. If we give them a good presentation, we'll probably leverage the KBB brand because it's a trusted source in the industry. And if we can come back out to the consumer and say, this is what we found with your car, these are transparent, they're clear, they're based on industry calculations, then the salesperson feels like, wow, okay, I put the energy in, and now I have a convincing document to be able to review so that I'm not just saying, well, the guy back there says your car's worth X. Right. Nobody wants to go out there like that because it's always confrontational.
Right. And gentlemen, anything you want to add on determining reconditioning costs? Anything, Patrick, you'd like to add to that?
Well, I think, we talked about it. If we can get to the point where we are connecting each of those items as you walk around the car and explaining to the customer what the value is of all of those items that have to be fixed. So we always used to say, hey, your car's worth KBB excellent value, right? And the customer goes, yes, because that's the one I looked at when I went online. That's the one I cared about. They didn't look at good or fair or anything else, right? They looked at the top number. But in order for us to get the car to be a KBB excellent vehicle when we sell it, we have to do these things, right? But we have to tell you how much each of those items are going to cost and be clear to you, whether it's tires or whether those items are on there, and say, these are the numbers we came up with. And I think most consumers have spent money on their cars in the past, and they know what they haven't done, and you can have a rational discussion with them.
And Patrick, finally, I've noticed that here at Northwood University, Cox Automotive has a great presence. I want to thank you. I can't tell you how many retailers have told me, Cox Automotive is going to be there. Do you know Patrick James? Okay, I went to his class. Okay, you've got amazing things going on with the lab. So thank you for all that you and Cox do for our industry.
Well, thank you. It's been truly an honor to teach up here for over 6 years now, and it's one of my probably most fulfilling pieces of my career that I've gotten to be able to do. I just kind of right place at the right time, and Cox Automotive to support me 100%.
Everybody, we're here at Northwood University. We're with Shon Kingrey and Patrick James. Patrick with Cox Automotive. Don't go away. We're going to be right back.
Your customers are taking better care of their cars and keeping them longer. This means your service lanes are bustling, but it also means less inventory is coming in on trade. Use this trend to your advantage and uncover acquisition opportunities with Service Drive Acquisition, a new solution from Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer that comes at no additional cost. Service Drive Acquisition turns your service lanes into a sourcing channel so you can acquire vehicles at a lower cost to market directly from customers with whom you've already established a trusting relationship. Analyze service appointments to identify vehicles that will be profitable, and even increase your opportunities to sell another vehicle to your service customers. A trusted offer for their trade-in can make it that much easier for shoppers to purchase the car they want from you, continuing to build up a loyal customer base for your dealership. Plus, Service Drive Acquisition makes it easy to integrate Instant Cash Offer with your current solutions, including X-Time, VIN Solutions, and vAuto Profit Time GPS. They help you identify the right cars for your dealership's inventory strategy at the right price to drive even more profitability. See how you can send offer invites to customers before their appointment, create an offer on the spot in your service lanes, or even send them an offer after their appointment, all to help you win more quality cars directly from your customers. Contact your sales or performance manager or visit b2b.kbb.com/service drive today.
Hello, everyone. We are here with the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Katrina Ness with Teddings, and we are here with the Future of Automotive Retail panel. Gentlemen, will you please introduce yourselves?
Good afternoon. Jeff Bogaski, a 25-year veteran. I started at a car dealership in the 90s. I spent most of my time in the SaaS business on the vendor side, focusing on DMS and fixed operations. Excited to be at the pop-up event today.
And I'm David Reinicke with Automotive Warranty Network. We process warranty claims for dealerships on an outsourced basis and help them out with, audit prevention, and that's what we do.
I'm Mark Mickens, 40 years in the automotive business. I am the Director of Retail Solutions for ES3 Automotive, former Ford dealer principal, and really happy to be here today.
Hey, I'm Randy Berlin, almost 40 years in the industry, so a lot of experience up on this panel. I currently run the training operations for Proactive Dealer Solutions, where we also have Brooke AI, and we look forward to talking about that as well.
Gentlemen, we're here at Northwood University in Midland, Michigan. You are all leaders in the automotive industry. I'd like to ask you a little bit about that. Randy, I'll start with you and I'll go down the line. Randy, in what ways does continuing education like here at Northwood contribute to career advancement and competitiveness?
Well, if you think about what's happening in the industry today, we went through COVID, and there was a lot of dealership operations. If we just focus on the dealer right now, they lost a lot of the sharpness of their skills, given the fact that it was a total disruption. And so now we're coming out of that, and we're having to deal with things like AI, digital retail, everything to do with technology is now being thrust upon the dealership operations. And so being able to adapt to that and excel with it really requires sharpened skills, education, understanding of what's going on with technology, and the entire computer science side of things, and the way understanding of customers in the way that they want to shop. So being at the forefront of that is really critical in today's dealership environment.
Makes sense. Mark?
Same. I think the challenges are more with the clients and customers coming into our dealership every day. They know what they want. They want different ways of servicing. We got so used to just intaking calls every day, intaking as many cars as we could, and not really caring about the customer's time or if it fit their needs and fit their timeline. And the way people shop now, I don't think they really make a difference between going to get a haircut or getting their car serviced, right? So somewhere in there, we have to provide better service that fits clients' needs, or they're just not going to come to our stores. That's better ways of attracting people to come to our store or going to them.
Makes a lot of sense. David?
I think pretty much the same thing. I mean, I think adapting to new technologies, I think the auto industry is fairly antiquated myself. And I think, stepping into these new technologies and adapting, new ways of doing business, the new ways that new customers want to interact. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of customers don't want to make a phone call. They want to text. They want to, so adapting to different ways to communicate with customers in the dealership. But I also think that there's big opportunities for the up and coming generations to work hard in dealerships and be successful, because I think as a consumer, I experience a lot of issues when I'm taking my car to local dealerships where I can't get a hold of anybody. I can't get good customer service. I can't get calls back. So I think there's huge opportunities just to work hard and rise through the ranks just by simply working hard.
And I think there's also our adaptation to dealing with different segments of the buying public, right? You mentioned Brooke AI,
yes,
right? So some people will gladly talk to AI, and some people really want to have no part of it. So I think having a variety of things that you present is also important now too, because there's a variety of people that are trying to do business with you.
Yeah, it's dealing with the customer the way they want to interact.
Yeah. And there's a lot, you know, in many ways, like you mentioned, we're behind a lot of other industries that are using things like AI. You know, I think of banks, you know, and I think of airlines, okay, which we can all relate to. And, you know, automotive is now just coming into that realm. Jeff, your thoughts?
You always got to be learning. And if you think of the word learn, it starts with an L, all right? Take that learn, which turns into a loss as often, and make sure that's a learning opportunity. You learn so much when you fail and don't do things right. And I think for the next generation here at Northwood, they're coming up the ranks, and not you, but this side, we can learn so much from you. I have 2 teenagers at home that come back and talk about technology, where to buy tickets. You don't go to Ticketmaster anymore, you go here. There's so much that we can learn from you, but you can learn back from us as well.
Definitely. Another question for you gentlemen. Why is it important to have a robust and passionate talent pipeline?
Like me to start?
Yes, please.
People. Like most of you will become leaders or dealer principals, and people are what will make you the best, right? And it starts with the people, but remember, it's that process once you hire somebody. So having a training program and having a program that gets them antiquated into the system that you put in place to allow them to be successful. I talked to someone recently that went to a company, they got their laptop, they started going. It was a month, they hadn't heard from anyone, they just had a laptop, didn't know anything. That's a horrible experience. So make sure that you create good experiences. We often talk about the car dealer's customers' experiences, but your people are the experience you need to worry about, so they treat your customers the best.
David,
Yeah.
importance of the pipeline.
Yeah, I think it's just, you know, having passionate people that are passionate about what they're doing really makes a company successful. And, you know, so having people that are driven to do what they do and really believe in what they do, but being the leadership and, you know, really guiding people to have that passion, you know, drives people to be successful, drives companies to be successful. So, you know, it's really important. Like I said a minute ago, I think there's a lot of opportunity for success as long as, you know, you're willing to work hard and, you know, be the best at what you do every day.
You know, success is the word, right? And success and successorship sometimes go hand in hand. And I think having a talent pipeline is so we're training the next generation. I really think as you know, leaders, you're obligated, you know, the sand's going to run out of the hourglass someday, you know, and it comes quicker than you want it to. And we all go, wow, how'd, you know, 40 years go by, but it does. But I think we have a responsibility to make sure that we have the next generation, because this is always going to be a people-driven business, because people are always going to have to buy a car or have a car service. So having that next generation is really important. If you're going to have, you know, if you want some longevity, I don't care if it's a publicly owned, publicly traded company or if it's a single point owner, you need people and you need a next generation, or you look around one day and go, you know, wow, we're going to have a problem in 10 years, right? Because that's what ends up happening.
Yep.
Yeah, so the way I think of it is everybody thinks about the technology being the sexy part of this industry, and it is. The AI, the chat GPT, all of those things that are really driving forward the advancements in our side of the business. But the way that we train at PDS is we think of it as a 3-legged stool. It's technology, it's process, and it's people. All 3 of those have to be functioning at peak efficiency for that to be totally successful. So that pipeline of qualified, talented people is going to be critical today, tomorrow, and in the future.
Katrina, I want to ask you, being a student here at Northwood University, one of the things I noticed is not only the networking opportunities, okay, but the internship opportunities. Talk to us about the importance of that and, you know, how that really helps, you know, shape the students here at Northwood.
Yeah, so I'm on my 2nd internship, so I have some experience to talk about this. And I really see it as you take what you learn in the class and you apply it to real life and real experiences before you get pushed out of college and into the automotive industry blind with nowhere to lead. So talking about a passion and talent pipeline, kind of accepting interns as a company really gets you that next generation, and it really teaches them at a younger age how this industry works and sets them up rather than just them getting thrown out there reading a book about leadership but not actually getting to experience it is not what we want. So these internships really help take what you learn in class and apply it to real life.
And gentlemen, if I could ask you last final question for today, what advice would each of you have for the incoming students at Northwood University or recent graduates, students like Katrina and Vanessa, based on your experience? Randy, I'll start with you.
I would say listen and learn. I think that is absolutely critical. And don't be afraid to ask questions. There's a lot of experience in wherever you end up. And grab a mentor, find a mentor, and have them help you, guide you along that path.
Good.
Yeah, I would echo that from the mentorship, surrounding yourself and getting involved in a good organization and somebody that's willing to mentor you. But also don't be afraid to fail. I mean, it's part of it, right? You're gonna have some failures along the way. Learn from them as much as you do from the success and, the fun that you have. But I also think that, it's still the one industry in this country that you can, start out at being, an administrative position, and all of a sudden you're the general manager at some point in your career too. So we still offer that in this, and it's great. I mean, automotive business has been good to everybody here. So that's what I would suggest. Mentorship's a big part of it, though. I really believe that.
I'm huge on the mentorship part too. I mean, I have people in the industry that I've really learned a lot from and gravitated towards, and they've really helped me learn. They've taken me under their wing and helped me come up through it. But the other thing that I'll add to that, and I tell my kids this all the time. I mean, we're at a point, I feel, in time where if you just work hard and you care and you put the time into it, and it's more than a job. It's more than, hey, I just want to work 6 hours today. If you really pour your heart into what you're doing, like you said, you're going to rise through the ranks very quickly. So, just having that passion behind what you're doing, put your heart into it, and I think there's a big opportunity to exceed and excel. So,
and Jeff,
chase your dreams. There'll be setbacks, there'll be challenges along the way. Don't let anyone tell you no. Work hard, make sure you have a plan of what you want to do and how you're going to achieve it. And when you get that no, like I said earlier, learn from that no, right? And make the most of it, but never give up on what you want to do, because anyone can achieve anything if you put your mind to it.
Everyone, great advice from the panel here today. Thank you all for what you do in our industry. Great leaders in our industry. Everybody, we are at Northwood University. We're here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Please stay with us. We have a lot more coming up. We'll be right back.
Hello, everyone. We are live at Northwood University, and I am joined by Cesar Augustus at Dealer Scanning. He brought the dealer scanning software, and he is going to show us how we use it today.
Thank you, Katrina. Yes, I'm going to show you how to scan a repair order in less than 60 seconds.
Wow.
So this is our scanning system. We provide touchscreen and a 70 page per minute high-end scanner. So to do that, we're just going to load up the repair order application, load up the repair order. We have a battery test receipt and a service coupon. And I'm going to let you scan. So how about just click Scan Repair Order to show you how easy it is. So we're going to scan 70 pages a minute, front and back. Wow. And we're going to use OCR technology to read the repair order number off of the document.
Okay.
This way, the person that's scanning doesn't have to type in repair order numbers, maybe make a mistake. At this point, we're going to click on View. Now this repair order has been turned into a secure PDF. And now you can see the contents of the repair order. Here's the front of the page, back of the page, and voila, we're done.
Wow. So how does this make it more efficient for the dealership?
Yeah, so as you can see, we took paper, we converted it into a PDF.
Yeah.
Now, anyone at the dealership can see the contents of this repair order. We log into our portal, type in the repair order number, which is 995957. Click search. There's that repair order number. Click on scanned. And again, you're going to see all the contents of that repair order. Anyone at the dealership, warranty administrators, service advisors, accounting, anyone even outside warranty administrators can access our system securely.
That's amazing. So can you scan all different types of documents with the system?
Yes, you can scan deal jackets, parts invoices, repair orders. Any paper can be scanned through our system. Now, one of the important things with our system is we integrate with all major DMSs.
Wow.
And for this, we have reporting. Basically, we allow you to see a snapshot of the scanning that's going on at the dealership. So for this example, if we look at this month of April, this dealership scanned 2,500 ROs. They open 2,500 rows. They scan 2,478. They have a 98% scan rate. They're missing 41 repair orders, and more importantly, they're missing 1 warranty repair order.
Okay.
And warranty repair orders are important because of the warranty audit.
Yes. How does this help with the warranty audit?
Yeah, before dealerships that are not scanning, they have to go find all the warranty repair orders in their file room. That could take a day, up to 7 days, depending on how well their filing system is.
Right.
With our system, you can pull up 100 repair orders in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Saves time, money, and obviously lots of space.
Definitely. So how much does the system cost, and how should our customers, acquire an interest on this?
Yeah, so our system is a simple pricing model.
Okay.
It's $500 a month, includes the entire system, includes the touchscreen, scanner. You don't have to buy any equipment. There's a
Wow.
full-time warranty on this equipment, so if anything happens, we replace it at no cost. No extra fees, no hidden cost. You can find more information at dealerscanning.com. Pretty simple model.
That's great. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Cesar Augustus, for giving us this amazing demo of dealer scanning. And if you are interested in this, make sure you check out dealerscanning.com.
The Fixed Ops Roundtable Certified Program is designed to help preferred dealers and partners with powerful tools, resources, and marketing to achieve even greater success and help grow revenue. We invite you to learn more today at fixedopsroundtablecertified.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We are at Northwood University right now with the Dynatron panel. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, hi, I'm James Grogan, Senior Vice President of Dynatron Software.
Shon Kingrey from the Kaiser Automotive Group out of Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, Kent MacDonald. I'm president here at Northwood University.
Hi, I'm Maureen Martin, Vice President of Strategic Alliances for Dynatron Software.
Everybody, thank you for being here. Our panel is about how to stand out in the job market. What great timing on this, and the importance of fixed ops education. So President MacDonald, if I can come to you on the first one, what strategies do universities like Northwood University use to enhance student interest in automotive related programs to ensure successful futures in our industry?
Yeah, so Northwood is a benefactor of being in this industry for 5 decades. So we have a great reputation. You go across the country, you're going to run into people who have been at Northwood, who have hired Northwood people. Our strategy is really simple. When you speak to students today and you ask, what are you looking for out of a university experience, they're really clear. They want a job. And I think the first thing we do is just the whole experiential learning here at Northwood. We have them involved in North America's largest outdoor auto show. They run that for us. Experiential learning, everything we know about learning tells us what happens in the classroom is important, but where real learning takes place is out on the front line. So we try to provide great learning opportunities, experiences for our students, and through that they meet people, they get build up relationships. And I can tell you, through the winter, we have many, literally dozens and dozens of employers on this campus looking to hire Northwood students. So we're proud of our students, proud of our faculty, and our great reputation of supporting this amazing industry.
And I think that's a great differentiator that you have at Northwood, because you really are focused on that, and the faculty and the students are focused on that. They know they're going to go into the automotive industry, not just any industry, but they're very intentional about it.
They are our students. The other thing, look, we're known as America's free enterprise university. We are unequivocal of our support of the importance of capitalism and free enterprise. Our students believe that, and when they graduate, they want to go out either on their own, start a company, of which 1/3 of our graduates own their own company, or join another company in industry and help them make money, and we're proud of that.
Yeah, so Maureen, on the topic of education, I have a question for you. So in what ways does continuing education post-grad contribute to career advancement and competitiveness in the automotive industry, and specifically in fixed operations?
You know, we had such a privilege to do the roundtable with the students today, and it just, It was mind-blowing how much they are thinking forward in the industry. And authentically, that's what we talked about. We talked about that this industry has a place for everyone and embraces everyone. You know, automotive is the largest tight-knit community, and you can see that in the students and the chaperones that were working with them, and just hearing about that it didn't matter. You could be in advertising, marketing, finance, and they incorporate that into the auto show, which I thought was really incredible. And to have it 100% student-led, it was really amazing. But I think at the end of the day, it's about being a lifetime learner. You never really stop learning. We talked about, those of us that have been around a few years in the business, that we didn't grow up in technology. And like those students now, they're really technology forward, and now it's really balancing by getting out of your comfort zone and trying new things, getting involved in organizations, getting out there and finding opportunities for yourself that you authentically want to do. And to reach out, that everyone is here as a part of this today at Northwood, because we really believe in the future. It's dynamic, we're passionate about it, and we want them to be a part of it. So, you know, my background's a little unique. I have OEM, I have owned my own company, and I've been on the SaaS technology side. So the students at my table were like, wow, I'd never thought of it. I thought I might come in just one path, and that was my path. And really, your path is really whatever you want to make it. So I find that to really be something that is important for the students today to know.
And we've talked about that there's so much growth opportunities inside the automotive industry. Like, some of our dearest friends have started from washing cars, and now they're at the top of the pyramid. So I think that's so important, and it goes along with constantly learning and adapting and growing as your own person.
You know, interestingly enough, most general managers, you know, 98% of them in my 38 years never came up the fixed operations side of the business. That's true. And so they are entrepreneurial, they're super smart, they're community leaders. And so as fixed ops companies, it's really important for us to embrace them and to really work as a team for that education. And that's a big part of it.
James, what we saw here today at Northwood, this was a true roundtable, okay? With awesome. Students, incoming students considering Northwood as well. And to Maureen's point, a lot of people who run dealerships came through the sales side of the organization. I know I started off on the sales side, but they don't have the knowledge, or haven't had the education on the fixed ops side. Talk to us about Dynatron. Just a few years ago, you were working with maybe 1,000, 1,500 dealers, 3,700 dealers now. What advice can you give incoming students or recent graduates?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, number one is confidence. You know, coming out of Northwood, a great facility, a great education platform, coming into, you know, quote unquote, the real life, you know, reality of the automotive industry, having confidence in what you've learned, confidence in the things that you've been taught, and then, you know, being pliable. Knowing that every day is going to be a little different. You're going to learn things that you never thought you needed to learn. You're going to do things you never thought you were going to do. But you know, the great thing about the automotive industry is, as we've all said, is you can kind of come in on one end and really make it across the whole spectrum, and realize the career you love and have passion for is really something different than you even thought it was. And you know, the automotive industry, I think, is very independent in itself, that people come in with this idea of, okay, I want to do X. And then once they start doing it, really what it is it's why that they find is the passion, and then that's where their career is. And I think from talking to those students today, you know, they all had an idea, and it would be great to see them coming to Northwood and then going on into their careers, how that idea and that passion grows.
President MacDonald, it really is different here at Northwood. We see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad, you know, look, I get paid to say nice things, but you just have to spend time on this campus and take time with our students. And look, anybody who says young people today don't care, they're not, you just have to spend time at Northwood. And this is a unique environment. We attract special kids here who go out and I think make a real difference. And I absolutely agree. Your comment on confidence, you just shake their hand, they look you in the eye, they carry you on a conversation, and you know, you don't learn that in a book. And so I really appreciate that comment.
Yeah, I think, you know, going through maybe, I don't want to say a normal degree, but going somewhere, you learn the book stuff.
Yeah.
But the hands-on stuff that, you know, we've been able to kind of hear about and that you guys do here, I think is what builds them to where when they do walk into that first job opportunity, the confidence, but then also the personnel skills, all the things that you guys have groomed here. I mean, to me, that's what sets them. That's what sets them apart.
They love this industry. They love the industry. Yeah.
Yeah, and so on the topic of education and again, growth, Shon, I have a question for you. What types of career advancement opportunities exist for students entering fixed operation departments?
You know, and everybody's got a story and how they got started in the business. And you know, mine was fresh out of the Marine Corps, spent 2 years in a cast. I was in a cast when I got hired at a dealership. And I started as a service writer and worked my way up to, you know, service manager, fixed ops manager, fixed ops director, became a general manager, and then ultimately came back to fixed ops because this is my passion. I don't know anywhere that you can have the opportunity, and now it gets talked about. And I know sitting in the roundtables today, I think everybody brought the same thing up, that I don't know any industry that you can start, and I have a college education in firefighting, which has nothing to do with this, okay? I didn't have the Northwood opportunity that they have here, and to say that the students were impressive is an understatement by far, what we saw here today. But as far as advancement opportunity, where do you want to go? Do you want to fix cars? Do you want to be, you have a ton of kids down there who want to be engineers.
Yeah.
And that's something 10 years ago you never would have heard. And that's their passion, that's their gig. They want to build cars, they want to invent things. And the opportunities, where do you want to go, which direction, and the money you can make. I mean, it's unreal.
Yeah.
And President MacDonald, this is a great example of future employers. You've got Shon Kingrey on the retail side with 8 rooftops in Wisconsin, all domestic dealerships, and the Dynatron folks here on the vendor, on the partner side. You know, what great opportunities they are afforded by the folks that are graduating here.
Yeah, there's just tremendous opportunities. And look, we invite all the employers, people who are interested in this industry to come visit us, speak to the students, speak with our faculty. And I didn't know you were in the Marines. Thanks for your service.
Thank you. Thank you. Everybody, we are at Midland, Michigan. We are at Northwood University. We have a lot more coming up. Please stay with us, and we're going to be right back.
Opportunities for revenue growth are out there, and they're closer than you think. The problem is most service departments lack the time, software, and data to see these opportunities. They're in the dark. That's where we come in. We help shed light on revenue growth opportunities hidden within your data. Dynatron gives you the tools, coaching, and knowledge to maximize your service department revenue. From optimizing labor rates on maintenance and repairs to helping with manufacturer warranty labor rate and parts markup, our training and software gets you the most from your data. We illuminate these revenue opportunities with 3 fundamental solutions powered by our ROI suite and expert coaching. Price Smart. Our Price Smart solution drives additional revenue through price optimization. Charging the perfect price for services maximizes revenue while maintaining retention. Pricing compliance. Holding service advisors and technicians accountable to avoid costly mistakes that can lead to significant ELR and retention erosion. And parts and labor warranty filing. Price optimization and compliance prior to filing maximizes the process, which leads to larger revenue opportunities. Where other companies just file, we maximize and file. Sell Smart. Our Sell Smart solution is a customized, dealer-specific, technology-enabled sales training program for your service advisors and management team. It focuses on improving each advisor's revenue-generating potential with continuous improvement. Small but consistent changes add up to big results. Market Smart. With Dynatron's Market Smart solution, we analyze your service department data to develop custom, multi-channel marketing campaigns that target existing and new customers. We guide additional traffic to your service drive, resulting in tangible ROI. Powering these solutions is our ROI suite and expert coaching. We take your repair order data, process it through our proprietary algorithms, curate new data, and combine to find new insights. Then, our expert coaches guide you through our proven turnkey process to discover new opportunities and deliver results, ultimately seeing a 5x to 15x ROI each year you partner with Dynatron. Managing your service department is hard enough. You don't need another vendor. You need a long-term partner. Don't stay in the dark. Accelerate your service department revenue today. Visit DynatronSoftware.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Katrina Ness, joined by Ted Ings, and we have an amazing group here with us today. This is the Online Marketing Trade Pending panel. Gentlemen, will you please introduce yourselves?
Shon Kingrey from the Cox Automotive Group, Madison, Wisconsin.
Tony Owens, Germain Motor Company.
Richard Lupo, Apple-Tree Automotive, Asheville, North Carolina.
Owen Moon with Trade Pending, which recently acquired Fixed Ops Digital.
Everybody, we're here today at Northwood University. We're in beautiful Midland, Michigan. Owen, if I could, let me start with you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Owen, why has online service marketing become such a huge focus in our industry right now?
Yeah, great question. You know, it really has kind of come to the forefront over the last few years. I think a lot of it has been circumstantial, right? I mean, when you look at like COVID, you look at the inventory shortages we had, there was just a lot of challenges on the variable side. And so I think dealers had to really lean in on the service departments to keep their business running during those time frames and to, you know, kind of just put a new emphasis on fixed operations. And so, you know, now that that's happened, I think they looked at that and said, hey, we need to keep that going, even though, you know, some of our current conditions have kind of come back. And so I really believe that that was one of the biggest things, at least from what we saw, you know, with our growth and kind of the way we go about helping stores is they were definitely leaning in on that department over the last few years.
And Richard, that's something you've got into as well, online service marketing.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got to find a way to connect with your customers. And, you know, the buzzwords, omni-channel, things like that. You know, our demographic of our customers, we still have a direct mail component that still has a large signal, but we are all over social media, banner ads, you know, remarketing or retargeting, all those things, just 360 degrees touching that customer as many different ways as we can, partnering with companies like Fixed Ops Digital to do that online marketing.
And Tony, I know Germain Motor Company is a big part of that. Hardly a day goes by when I don't see a post from you on LinkedIn. Why the importance of all that?
Well, Owen hit that right on the head. There is nothing more important, particularly since COVID, that these things take place. There's so many new ways to go about this, and his company is very good at it. And I can't place enough emphasis on the importance of keeping that relationship going with your customer in every way possible, whether it be social media, whatever the case may be, advertising. It's extremely important to reach everyone.
And I know, Shon, it's something that you noticed when you got to Kaiser Automotive Group because we had a conversation about that.
We did, you know, and it's funny, you can't underestimate how informed customers are these days. Clients know more about the cars than you do, and you have to understand that, you have to accept it. It's not just on the variable side, it's on the fixed side too. And obviously, Owen and I have had a relationship for many years, and he brings that to the forefront. He makes sure your ads are meaningful, they're truthful, and they match up with the OEMs have.
And you're a client of Trade Pending Fixed Ops.
I am absolutely. He has all my stores.
Okay, super.
Wonderful. I'm going to ask you guys, what are some effective ways to help bring customers into your dealership? We'll start with Shon.
You know, I think you have to go after what's after them. I mean, I think oil change coupons are what they are, but people are still looking for those. You can't forget those. And as we only see clients now every 10,000 miles or even longer, it's more important than ever that you're in their face. You have to remind them, because when they're due, they're due. I'm a firm believer that even if you did a free oil change, if you're not due for one, you're not going to go to one. We don't make it convenient to get service at a dealership. We all know that. So you wouldn't come in. And again, this is just not all about Owen, but they have to be in their face. They have to be relevant. They have to be for what the client's looking for at the time.
Tony, anything you want to add to that?
Well, you know, that's where computers really take a big deal on this. It's about knowing your customers, knowing their needs. You can't get every one of them the same way. You can find out what most of your customers need or majority of customers need based on what they're telling you, what you're listening to them. And that's extremely important. Do the research and know what these customers need and market that way.
Richard, when we were down at Asheville at your dealerships, I know that was a conversation that we had about online service marketing.
Oh, absolutely. Connecting with your customers in a straightforward, honest manner, keeping your brand, Apple-Tree in our case, top of mind when it's time, when you're due. The biggest way to drive customers in is to retain them. That's the number one thing. Yeah. And then gaining new business, going out in the market and letting people know what we're about and connecting through being out in the community, being online, talking to them about what we do, who we are, what our values are, where our place in the community is. Not just, if we have to send out the oil change coupons and reminders, but let them know who we are and what we represent. Because, the presence of knowing the corporate values of a company have become very relevant in recent years.
What are you seeing?
Yeah, I think touch points are really the most important thing when you look at it globally, right? We kicked that door down 5 years ago and said, hey, your consumers are online. Let's make sure we reach out to them. But then you start talking to dealers and you're like, they're not even necessarily doing good retention programs, and they're not talking to their customers about recalls and warranties. So it's really understanding the different revenue pillars that are in the fixed ops department, and then putting a strategy together that hits all of them. Like, email marketing and text messaging, I think is a much better play for a current customer, somebody that is opted in, somebody that you have a relationship with, and then maybe reaching out to them with Facebook ads and maybe, paid search, where you have that conquesting initiative to try to drive customers in that might not have been your customers.
Oh, and I want to pivot a little bit, if I may, and talk about video.
Yeah.
We live today in a video world, and now something that you've done at Trade Pending is bringing the technician out of just being in the shop, but putting them on video and having the technician explain to the customer in short videos what they saw. How important is doing things like that?
Video is huge. It creates trust, authenticity, and really gives the consumer that visual of like, hey, this is something that needs to be done. Maybe it's brake pads, maybe it's a filter. It's one thing to put it on a phone call, call the customer and talk about it, put it on an email. But when you can actually show them in video, you are going to get more of those additional recommended services.
Excellent. Shon, anything you want to add on video?
It's funny, and we talk about it. We've done some panels together lately with some technicians. Clients trust technicians more than they trust the advisor. It's weird to say that, but it's always been 30 years of doing this. It hasn't changed. As soon as the technician shows them their car, it's kind of done. It kind of sells itself.
Richard, video is everywhere in our lives now, and now it's worked its way into fixed ops. It's into the shop.
Yeah, no, we utilize the online video inspections, and haven't been in the business a long time. We used to take and walk the customer out to the car and show them the car, and we've got away from that, and now we're back to that in a virtual sense, and that connection between that car, that customer, and the hands that are working on it is invaluable.
Coming back to you, Owen,
yeah.
The customer trusts the technician.
Yes.
And that's an important step there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when they're the experts, they're the certified technician, they're the ones that work on these cars every day. Who would be the best person to get that trust to the consumer than the technician?
Everybody, one final question, if I may, for everybody in the panel, starting with Owen. What should franchise dealerships expect now for the balance of 2024 and coming into 2025? Things are changing so rapidly. I know you and I see it on the Fixed Ops Roundtable every few months. What can we expect?
There's a report that came out recently talking about that 20% of consumers are behind on their oil changes. So we're actually seeing it go backwards. Like when I first started talking to stores 5 years ago about this type of thing, people are like, I don't need any more oil change business. That's changing, right? So we have to take the current conditions and adapt our marketing to that. And I think that's something that as we move into the rest of this year, into 2025, again, kind of looking at everything in pillars and then coming up with the best strategies to reach those maintenance customers, to reach those general repair customers, to reach those recall customers. You have to look at everything individually. You cannot, make it a global strategy. So,
Richard, same question. What can franchise dealers expect 2024 going into next year?
We can expect to have to be in touch with our customers even more as there's uncertainty in the markets. It's a 4-year cycle that we go through, and there's uncertainty. And if you put yourself in the eyes of a consumer, you have to be able to be that person, that company that is their choice, because those choices come harder when there's uncertainty surrounding. And through the balance of 24 and into 25, I think that it's the most important thing that we can do is be top of mind for our customers and let them know that when they do make those choices, that they're making the right choice to do business with us.
Tony, if you look into your crystal ball for the balance of this year and next year, what do you see ahead in terms of online service marketing?
More of the same and then some. Great car people know what's going on ahead. You have to see these things coming. Extremely important that you do that. They're great chess players in a rule. The biggest thing is that I see is a lot more of the same, and keep researching ahead. A lot of your owners right now are owning older cars, so you're going to focus on that a little bit, and I imagine that's going to grow because the front end is so up and down, and it's going to remain that way probably because it's a cycle. That's the way the car business is. Focus on the older cars right now is what I would do.
Shon, you're seeing a lot of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to go off of what Owen, because I don't need to beat down what they've already said. You know, if people are really 20% over on their oil changes, guys, with the intervals we're going now, it's a scary number. I mean, you're talking 12 to 15,000 miles, and it is what it is. They're not made to go that long. My challenge would be to test your marketing. Go on your own website, see where your websites are, see what message you're sending out to your clients. If you got a coupon out there that still has a 2023 date on it, because it happens, you got to test yourself. Yeah.
Everybody, thank you for being here with us on the panel today. Owen, thank you. Trade Pending, Fixed Ops Digital, formerly, again, for being here, not just on the roundtable, but at beautiful Northwood University in Midland, Michigan.
Thank you.
Everybody, we have a lot more coming up. Stay with us on the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We will be right back.
We are calling it. 2024 is the year of marketing your service offers on your website. And as easy as that is to say, it is not that easy to do. And you got some options on how to do it. So here's what you need to know. Welcome to Trade Pending TV, the more you know. Keeping your service offers up to date is hard because it's just hard to make sure you've got all the same prices across all your marketing channels and across all of your dealerships. But it is a noble effort that absolutely needs doing because your customers want to know how much your service costs. When we look across all the dealers, here are the various approaches we see used most often to promote service offers. The first and the roughest is doing nothing. There's no prices or really out-to-date offers or a steaming pile of vagueness that's not helpful. This approach costs you nothing, but you gotta realize that people are bouncing to the places that aren't afraid to share their prices online. You are losing business. The second approach is to use the basic coupon builder within your website. It's included, costs little to nothing, so you got that going for you. The downside is that it doesn't sync your offers across your other marketing channels, so you've got to do that manually to make sure that those are staying accurate, and you're going to get limited data on which offers are actually driving results. Your third approach is to hire an agency to handle all this for you. This is wonderful because you don't have to do squat, but it's easily going to be the most expensive approach. So your final approach is to use a software tool to manage it for you. This solution will sync your offers across your dealership and your marketing channels, give you real-time reporting on which offers that customers most want, and it's easy enough for a single person to manage with just a few minutes per week. That sounds pretty good. Well, options 2, 3, and 4 are all viable, and Trade Pending Service Offers platform with Fixed Ops Digital falls into that last category. We'd love to show you how we do it. You know where to find us. See you next time.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Vanessa Collins, joined by Ted Ings, Shon Kingrey, and David Reinicke, and we're here to talk about Automotive Warranty Network.
David, I want to congratulate you. You had a feature article, cover article on Fixed Ops Magazine. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can't let Shon take all the covers. There had to be some inspiration behind that. Give us some insight onto that.
Yes, so obviously I'm biased. I think there's a lot of benefit to outsource warranty administration. It's a lot of money in the warranty world. several millions of dollars a year in most cases for the average dealership. So I think having a company or a focused individual to do the warranty collections is very important.
Shon, you're a client of AWN. How about from your perspective?
We are, and I'm a big proponent, obviously, of warranty now, because as I share on a lot of your After Dark panels, I've got stores that are collecting $300 an hour in warranty reimbursement. It's a huge number. Warranty used to be the bottom third. Nobody wanted to do it. Guys, it's a huge part of our business now. I mean, the reimbursements, and as they're cutting times, we're trying to compensate that and trying to compensate and recruit techs by overpaying them to do warranty work. It's a huge part of it. It's also the audit thing. It's also protecting yourself. It's more than just getting the claim paid. It's making sure the claim paid, it gets paid and it sticks.
I know you've seen both sides of it, having it done in dealership and then outsourcing it. Talk to us a little bit more about the benefit of outsourcing with a company like AWN, who specifically focuses on what you do.
So 30 years of doing this, the one thing that's historically that repeats itself is warranty administrators, and there's no disrespect meant, they forget who they work for. They always forget that they work for the dealer, not the manufacturer, and that they're always protecting the manufacturer. At the end of the day, guys, it's us that needs to get paid. It's us that collects their money. And when you bring it in-house or you do it outsourcing, the money's about the same as far as what you're going to pay out. It just works out that way. So outsourcing it, they make sure, because how they get paid, I'm not trying to step on his show here, how they get paid is what they collect. So their motive is a little different, and they understand. Now, they're also on the manufacturer side. They're not going to do nothing wrong, but they're also there to make sure that everybody's fair, everybody gets paid, and it's all even.
We're there to protect the dealership too. So the technicians are our friends or our buddies. I mean, it's a very, we look at it black and white. Like, we want to make sure you get the money you're entitled to, but also keep that money in the event of an audit. So, and the other focus behind the article that I wrote wasn't just for Automotive Warranty Network, but so many dealerships. We have some competitors out there, obviously. So, I want to make sure that dealerships are focused on the aspects of outsourced warranty administration, so it can be successful. Because honestly, if they have a bad experience with another warranty company, then it kind of taints the whole concept. So, they don't want to go with Automotive Warranty Network or any of our competitors because they had a bad experience with this company. So I'm just going to keep it in-house. So, I think there's a lot of benefit to outsourcing, and I just want to make sure dealerships, they decide to explore this option, that they have a good experience and it's successful.
And Ted, I'd like to hit on something that he said there real quick, is when you bring an outsourcer, first of all, technicians don't like change. We all know that. And technicians, you're going to outsource it, it's going to cost us money. I'm telling you, it ends up being the opposite, because technicians find out that their interest is also in the technicians, as David said, that they're trying to get it collected. And they understand that if you run the punch times and you do your store color correctly, they can actually get you paid, versus in-house, they just want to get the claim off their desk and going.
Now, what is the biggest reason dealerships resist or don't feel comfortable outsourcing warranty processes?
I think it's just about change. It's a whole different process. I mean, when it's in-house, they've got the warranty administrator sitting in an office, and a lot of times they just, offload the paperwork to that warranty administrator, and, they fix it. So if there's a problem with technician stories, punch times, whatever the case may be, they just, throw it to the warranty administration office, and, they fix it. Going with an outsourced system, one, it's foreign, it's new, but it's holding people accountable in the dealership to do what they're supposed to be doing. So now you're telling the technicians, you need to be the one writing a better story. You need to make sure you're running the proper punch time, versus having somebody that's just going to fix it for them. So I think that's the biggest reason. And again, it's a foreign concept, but I've heard from a lot of our clients that once this is implemented, and once you get 60, 90 days down the road, and you've told everybody in the dealership that this is your job, this is what you need to be doing for the warranty claim, it's very it's successful. Once everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing in the dealership. So, but I think the biggest reason they resist, and Shon, maybe you have some input behind that too. So
I think it's two things. It's change, as you said, which we talked about. Nobody likes change. It is what it is. It's also control. Whether it's outsourcing your warranty or it's outsourcing your BDC, everybody wants to keep everything in-house. As service managers, inherently, that's what we want to do. Sometimes you got to let that go. Sometimes the best solution may not be in your own backyard, especially with hiring and finding people nowadays. It's okay to let it go and let somebody else do it.
Shon, from your experience, go a little deeper. How are some of these challenges overcome over time, because again, our industry is rapidly changing. Technology is, coming in more and more. That warranty receivable, that's going to be the biggest customer you've got at the dealership.
It's a huge thing. And again, the manufacturers now more than ever, obviously I have just domestic stores where I'm at now. They're finding any way they can to charge you back right now. If there's a smallest flaw more than ever, I think it's less auditing now. It's just more chargeback on the front side. They just hit you on the front. I think you have to start, like as we all say, if you're going to decide to do it and you're tired of fighting the struggle, you got to get your naysayers and you got to know who those people are. Probably your shop foremans, by the way, because the technicians don't like it. The warranty administrator, the service advisors really generally don't care. They're done by that point. The RO's closed, boom, they're going to get paid no matter what. Now you get the house paid. The technicians, if you can get the naysayers involved, you get your shop foreman involved, and you get them buying into the game, you they'll control it for you. They'll get it going. That's always for me, that's where it's always started.
Yeah. And we do a lot of work with technicians and advisors. And so one of the biggest things that we like to do is we like to go into a dealership and help educate the technicians, specifically the technicians, on what we're doing for the dealership. Right. So really, we can either do it virtually or in person in some cases, but, helping them understand that we're not fighting them. Again, like you said earlier, the more we can get the technician paid, the more, frankly, our company makes. Right. So we're not fighting you. We're not trying to cut your times, but we have to make sure we're compliant with policy and procedure. So, that's one of the biggest things that we can do is help educate the dealership and the dealer personnel on what we're doing for them, and we're all on the same team.
Correct.
So.
And the one thing about David's company, I'll say, when I started outsourcing, or when outsourcing became something years ago, the manufacturers all, you can't outsource. The OEMs actually promote him. They recommend him. And that's a change from 5 years ago. I can tell you right now, at a Chrysler store in Savannah, Georgia, we got threatened with an audit if we outsourced. Because we'll audit you if you do it. Now it's the opposite. Yeah. They want us to outsource it because they understand that they're there to make sure the T's are crossed, our I's are dotted, and the stories are good.
So that speaks volumes.
It's huge.
Yeah, we have some manufacturers, and I won't mention any specifics, but when they come into audit and they find out the Automotive Warranty Network is doing the warranty, they're like, oh, we're going to be here for a day or two, and so they actually promote us in a lot of cases.
True.
What does Automotive Warranty Network do to help a dealer be successful in outsourced warranty administration?
Well, like I said, it really comes down to training and helping. When we come into a store, it's not like we just flip a switch and all of a sudden we're doing it and you don't have anything to worry about. There's a lot that goes into, launching a dealership, making sure that we go through the processes and what it's going to look like on a daily basis working with us. And we tailor that to what's going to work best for them. So it's not just like, we come in, this is cookie cutter how we do it. We want to make sure they're comfortable with the processes that we're going to be doing for them on a daily basis. And then I go back to the training aspect of it too. So, if we go into a dealership and, there's broken processes and, it's just not going to work, we want to fix that. So again, we'll fly out to the dealership if necessary, work with the dealership staff on site, help put processes in place and make sure it's a successful process and a successful experience. So.
Gentlemen, while we have you both here, last question for today. We're here at Northwood University. I'll go to David first, and then Shon. David, what advice can you provide incoming students or recent graduates like Vanessa Collins, based on your experience with working with thousands of dealers across the country?
The biggest thing, in my opinion, and I'll go back to what I kind of mentioned earlier, is just working hard and just excelling every day. I think not just in the auto industry, but just in general, I think there's a lack of work ethic, a lack of drive. I see it in the grocery store, you see it anywhere you go. So, and like I always tell my kids, there's so much opportunity out there right now. I think as long as you're willing to work hard, really be passionate about what you're doing. I think there's huge potential out there, and there's potential to rise through the ranks very quickly as long as you're willing to work and be passionate and put your heart into whatever you're doing. So,
work ethic, I think, is the key words there. If you have the work ethic, I've been doing this 30 years now, and to leave the Marine Corps and start in this and not even know how to change my own oil when I started this 30 years ago to where I am now, do you have to give up a lot to get there? Yes. Do you have to work your tail off to get there? Yes. But there's such a reward at the end, and you can go either way. Whether you go the variable side, whether you go the fixed side, whether you go the office side. There's a different fit for everybody. And I've done both sides of the house, and you find your gig obviously with fixed, and And I can't say enough that if there's a career that you don't have to have a education for 30 years, but you're always learning, there's always training, it's always there, you have the backing, change is okay, by the way, and I don't know of another business that you can have the success that you can have here.
And I think, finding that mentor is very important too. I mean, I can't say that enough. I mean, finding somebody that's willing to, mentor you and teach you, I think that's a huge component of it as well. So
correct.
Well, gentlemen, on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, thank you for all that you do. David Reinicke at Automotive Warranty Network, Shon Kingrey at the Kaiser Automotive Group. Everybody stay with us. We're at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We're in Midland, Michigan. We will be right back.
Industry complaints from consumers, and there's agencies around the nation that they're tracking, like Better Business Bureau, as well as they're tracking a lot of statistics regarding like legal cases and things like that. And the most surprising thing that came out of this report, it just dropped last month on May 20th, was that for the 8th year in a row, auto-related issues are the top consumer complaint. And that's above a lot of industries that I would have never thought, right?
Yeah.
And, you and I have talked about this. Our whole career is in automotive. And for 8 years in a row, we're still in this spot. We're still in this position where it's nothing but customer complaints. And it's not just service, right? We know service is a big issue, but it's sales as well. So what are your thoughts? Why are we stuck in this rut?
Episode 1 is now streaming on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Be sure to find us at The Service Lounge, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow, because Episode 2, The Dark Side of Upselling, Is It Hurting Customer Trust, is coming out this month on July 26th. Until then, we'll catch you at The Service Lounge.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Katrina Ness with Teddings and our Reynolds and Reynolds Northwood University panel. We have a lot of exciting news to share, but before we get into it, gentlemen, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure, I'm Kent McDonald, president here at Northwood University.
Ryan McGinty, senior manager at Reynolds and Reynolds.
Gentlemen, it's a great honor and privilege to be with you here in Midland, Michigan, on the campus of Northwood University. Kent, I saw the announcement recently. Tell us more about the new Center for Automotive Mobility Studies.
Right, so this is a wonderful investment, I think, that Northwood is making in the industry. And I could take you back a few years to just to the tail end of COVID. You'll likely remember that time. And I sat down with the trustees and we wanted to determine, what might the future be for Northwood related to this industry that we have supported and been part of for so long. And the trustees, faculty, staff, myself, we came to the conclusion that we own this leadership stake in serving the industry. So we're going to double down on providing more talent and more investment. So we have created, and we'll formally announce it at our auto show. We'll look forward to having you back, Ted, in the first weekend of October. But to build off decades of experience and launch the Center for Automotive and Mobility Studies. And that center is going to be a significant capital investment, about $15 to $17 million. But more importantly than that, it's going to put under one roof our automotive marketing and management program, our aftermarket program, the University of the Aftermarket, some graduate programming opportunities, and really, I think, provide even more talent to this industry, and we're looking forward to it. And recently we did have a great announcement about that. Yeah. And I'd be happy to tell you a little bit more.
Tell us a little bit.
Yeah. So, look, when I started at Northwood, I kept hearing about this company, Reynolds and Reynolds. And I got to learn more about it over the last 5 years, and I've came to realize that it is an absolute leader in the industry, but it's also been a great partner with Northwood. So we had something called the President's Freedom Celebration a couple of weeks ago. Chris Walsh, the president of Reynolds, was here along with a number of his colleagues. And to see Chris come up on stage and say, look, Northwood is important to the industry, And we're doubling down on our investment as well as a corporate leader, and we're going to provide a gift of $5 million towards CAMS, or the Center for Automotive and Mobility Studies. It was a great night. It entrenched our legacy with Reynolds, and it really gave us a bootstrap investment for us to move on this new center.
Yeah, so Ryan, you are a Northwood alum. And so how do you feel about this whole thing and Reynolds stepping up for the company that you work for? Reynolds and Reynolds is now chipping back into Northwood University, the school that you graduated from. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, I have worked for Reynolds and Reynolds over 15 years, and I've loved the company through and through. And knowing that Reynolds is now putting this investment back into the people who are going to be driving the industry, it just puts another notch as far as how Reynolds and Reynolds now really solidifies in me that the company that I work for is just as amazing as what I thought, and even more.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to Northwood and to Reynolds and Reynolds as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about how the new center is going to benefit students and guests?
Yeah, so the total investment that we're putting back into this area of automotive and mobility aftermarket is our overall target's more than $40 million, in fact. So the investment in capital is important. Our students today, look, we're not going to compete like some universities do on who's going to have the highest climbing wall, but we are going to invest in great learning space, and that's what the center is going to do. But on top of that, the secret of a great university is really quite simple. You need to be able to attract wonderful students, and they need to have outstanding faculty. And we currently have both of those. This investment in CAMS is going to allow us to have more scholarship money, so that if there's a young person, particularly from an underrepresented community, maybe they don't have the ability to finance an education, we think it's critical for us to provide them a Northwood education regardless of that financial background. So more scholarship money, and we're going out and hiring more faculty to supplement the existing faculty, the great faculty that we have now. So a new building, more scholarship money to make it more affordable to come to a private university, and to have even more great faculty. And you mix all of those things together, good things happen. And look, we couldn't do it, again, without support of industry. And Northwood has wonderful, wonderful partners, and one of the finest is our friends at Reynolds and Reynolds.
Yeah, so Ryan, a similar question that Kent just answered. How do you think this future building is going to help, guide these young Northwood students into a great career? How do you think this is going to help them and affect them as a past Northwood alum?
Yeah, I mean, Northwood's always been great about giving students opportunities.
Yeah.
I remember back when I was going to the university, we got to go work the Detroit Auto Show, and it was an opportunity for me to put my foot in the door and just get to talk to people in the industry and understand how that side of the industry worked. I think this building is going to open up so many more doors and so many more opportunities for the students, especially with the scholarships. And with the new professors coming in, it's going to open up so many opportunities for the students that just weren't in existence because we didn't have either the funding, we didn't have the professors to do it, we didn't have the opportunities. And so I think this building and everything that's going with the building is going to present so many more opportunities for the students.
Yeah, and the thing that we hear often, Ryan, and is this industry is growing, it's dynamic. It could be the most exciting time to be in the industry right now, and it needs talent. And so our role as a university is to provide that talent, and we think CAMS is going to help us do that even more.
Absolutely.
And Kent, if I may, just to kind of wrap things up, share with us a little bit about what it's been like working with Reynolds and Reynolds. I mean, it speaks to the relationship, but what a great relationship, okay, between the two organizations.
It is. It's stood the test of time. And what we look for in a relationship to get into it is a partnership. We're not looking for numbers, hundreds. We want very select organizations and companies who are going to be serious about who we are and what we stand for, to provide learning experiences for our students. We have support from scholarships. This is one of our largest gift ever. And Reynolds is being hit by a number of different people who would like them to support. And the fact that they chose Northwood is just telling to us. So they're good people. They know who we are. We've known each other for a long time, and we have amazing graduates like Ryan working for Reynolds. So we see a great future together. And you can only say thank you so much. Sometimes it doesn't come across as sincere, but for a small private university dedicated to this industry, it is a sincere thank you to Chris Walsh, the whole Reynolds and Reynolds team for their commitment, not just to Northwood, but what we're trying to do for the industry, and we couldn't do it without the help.
Yeah, if I could touch on that too. We've been partners with Reynolds for a long time. And even this year, they sponsored around 12 students to go down to NADI and help them out with their booth. So it's just that long time partnership and connections building that is really important to Northwood. And you guys get a lot of recruiting out of it. We have Ryan over here, again, a Northwood alum, and that's kind of what we're looking for, is just places for our students to go and excel in their careers.
Yeah, if I may add one more thing, it's really great to see that the students are getting the experience and that they're having the opportunities. And I know Reynolds and Reynolds, we really are going to key in on that, and hopefully we'll get to see a lot of the students come to Reynolds and Reynolds and experience the NADA. And I would love to have them come work for Reynolds and Reynolds someday. Yeah. So we really hope to have that be a feed for us as well.
So do we.
Yeah.
So do we.
Well, congratulations to Reynolds and Reynolds and to Northwood University on the new Center for Automotive Mobility Studies. We're here today at Northwood University. We're in Midland, Michigan at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We are going to be right back.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Vanessa Collins, joined by Ted Ings, and we are coming to you live from Northwood University. We are about to learn some exciting insights from Jake Ashendorf from Epicor.
Jake, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and it's great to be with you here in beautiful Midland, Michigan.
It is. Thank you, Ted, for having me. Vanessa, great seeing you as always.
So, Jake, for our audience, we want to learn a little bit more about Epicor and what you're doing. Data is constantly being accumulated throughout the automotive industry, especially on the dealer side, and dealers are concerned about that as well. Tell us a little about Epicor's data network. Yep.
So, Ted, the data network started back in 1982, where we went on a mission to take those reams of books that if you ever went into a parts store, you saw them just lined up behind the counter, right? So we started with the data network of creating a digital catalog back in 1982, but it didn't stop with just digitizing the catalog, right? It's one thing to digitize the information and put it into a format that's accessible for everybody to use, but then how do you get to that data? How do you get to the network? So back in 1982, we started to build that network, connecting buyers and sellers together to streamline the process of purchasing aftermarket parts throughout the entire industry.
That's got to be a huge, huge responsibility. What all goes into that?
Well, Ted, as you can imagine, first and foremost, we feel that we are the data stewards of the industry. So we protect the data. We make sure the data at the beginning is protected no matter what happens. So we have to accumulate the data rights, which is very important to use it. One big key is that we're not connecting any PII information. We don't care about if it's Ted's vehicle or Vanessa's vehicle or anybody else's vehicle. We are simply looking at the parts movement on a repair order. So when you think about where do we collect this data, we get data collected from the OEM, the manufacturer, right, to the distributor level, to the service installer base. We have the full broad spectrum of the entire industry, but it doesn't stop there. As you can imagine, there's a couple hundred DMS systems in the franchise dealer space. There's over 200 in the aftermarket space. So just collecting the data isn't enough. So we protect it first and foremost, but more importantly, then we have to clean and organize the data. I like to use the little story about Legos. When you get a Lego set and it's that Star Wars Death Star, right? You're so excited, you rip open the box, and what do you have? You have a bag full of just Legos. Different colors, different sizes, and you don't know what to do with them, right? You have to have the instructions. So we have to clean the data first. So to me, that's taking the Legos and now separating them into colors, right? And then next you have to take all that data and you have to put it together, and that is organizing or arranging that data. Well, that's great, but what do you do with organized or arranged data? It doesn't really mean anything to anybody, right? So next you have to build that Death Star, which is visually creating the end results of that data, which tells the story. But guess what? As a kid, did you ever leave that Death Star put together? Probably not, right? So what you do then is, after you have it, is make useful tools of the data. And that's what Epicor really strives to do, is we take the data, but we're constantly looking at how do we use the data to help the aftermarket and the franchise dealers use it in ways that they never thought they had to use it before.
Wow. Now, what are the benefits that Epicor provides for the automotive market?
So we provide, in just the data category, a streamlined method to purchase aftermarket parts. So keep in mind, this handles the entire automotive industry, whether you're a collision, whether you're a franchise dealer, or you're in the aftermarket. But more importantly, what if you're a DIY or you're a do-it-yourselfer? Well, our data is replicated and used in online searches and platforms such as Amazon, eBay, Google. So you're using our data, you're using our connectivity in our highway. So we make it easy, whether you're at a franchise dealer, to buy that part quicker, faster, and easier than picking up the phone and calling your local Advance, O'Reilly's, Napa store, or your local distributor. We're helping the aftermarket, whether you're a single bay shop turning wrenches and you're the owner, you're the mechanic, you're the accountant. But if you're a DIYer, we're providing all that information for you in an online platform, so where you can quickly and easily look at the part, make sure you have the right part at the right time, at the right price.
Jake, a lot of the dealers watching today are smaller dealers. So let's talk a little bit about scalability. What about a small dealer versus a larger dealer?
So Ted, it really doesn't matter the size, right? At the end of the day, service has one thing to sell, right? Everybody thinks that they sell parts or they sell that service. Well, as you know, and the fixed ops community knows, we sell time. So time is important, whether you're a small person, again, a single point garage, 1 or 2 bays, or you're a multi-million-dollar publicly traded company. You sell time in the fixed ops department. So the faster you can get the part, the faster you can turn that car, the faster you make that customer happy, the more cars you can get in. It is about speed of the game, because we all know this. If there's not a simple, easy way for us to do anything, it's going to take more time, it's going to cause more problems, and you're going to have more mistakes.
Yeah, and in our business, I heard it's all about the hours.
It is all about the hours, and with an aging vehicle population now over 12 years, it just means there's going to be more service work for the franchise dealers and the aftermarket. The aftermarket has 240,000 repair shops. We have 17,000 plus franchise dealers. There's enough work for everybody in there. It's a matter of who's going to take it and who's going to cater to the needs of those 12-year-old vehicles for our customer base.
Now, Jake, how is Epicor leveraging emerging technologies like AI and machine learning?
Great question, Vanessa. So, the old way we started doing it in 1982 was honestly about 80 to 100 people literally looking at the catalog, those books, and manually typing all that information in. We have progressed immensely in those years, right? So we are using machine learning, we are using big data tables, we are using AI to automate some of those tasks. But guess what? The automotive industry is very unique. One word is not the same in the automotive industry for the same part that it is everywhere else. So although we're using the emerging technologies of AI to help automate some of those manual tasks and those repeatable tasks, especially when it comes to net adds and changes, which means when that manufacturer sends us a new data table in ACEs and PIs, which is the industry standard for the information, we are now moving to net adds. So machine learning has learned over the last 50 years what this part means. So we know that it's an oil filter. We know it's a brake. So the machine has learned, and we've taught it through the data language tables, to know that it's that oil filter or brake or whatever it is. And so it's automating those tasks so that a manual intervention doesn't have to sit in there and manually type all that information out. We've taken it one step further. So We have moved from, as I told you, the data story about how to use the information, right? So it's great that we have all these catalog lookups and we know the part was sold, but now let's talk about predictive inventory and how do you stock your inventory? So parts is an open checkbook, as we know. So if I can help you maximize by knowing what vehicles are in your market, so you know, hey, I need this part for these specific units, meaning these parts fail more readily on a 1995, Chevy Silverado truck. So stock these parts compared to stocking another part because I'm going to be able to sell this part faster and make more money on it.
And Jake, this is not something that's coming. This is here now.
We have predictive inventory assistance and maintenance already out in the market being used by the independent aftermarket channel as we speak and all the distributors within the marketplace.
And finally, Jake, Vanessa mentioned that we're at Northwood University today. Epicor is very involved with Northwood, and I want to thank you for all that I've seen about Epicor here at the university and all that you're doing, and maybe tell us a little bit more about that commitment as well.
Yeah, thank you, Ted. So the commitment that Epicor made to the Northwood students like Vanessa and Katrina is we want to power the aftermarket. We know the next generation is out there. So since we are tied in so heavily all the way from the manufacturers, from supply chain logistics to marketing, all the way down to the independent service repair shops, we feel we're best suited to help those students out. So we have a lab. We donated scholarship money and put a lab in here at Northwood University to come in and teach real life practical skills while they're learning the Northwood University skills from a classroom textbook. So we're taking that technology that we have and putting it into the classroom to better help the students learn. Once they leave Northwood University, they're ready for the marketplace.
Wow, Jake, a lot going on at Epicor, a lot going on at Northwood. Again, on behalf of the Fixed Ops community, thank you for all that you do for our industry.
Thank you, Ted, for your commitment as well.
Everybody, stay with us. We're going to be right back. We're at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We're at Northwood University. A lot more to come.
Whether you consider it evolutionary or revolutionary, change is reshaping the franchise dealer business, and we're not talking about electric vehicles. There's another promising opportunity that demands your attention. It's the fast-growing and increasingly lucrative customer pay parts, tire, and service market. Consider what's happening around you. Average vehicle age is at an all-time high and rising faster than ever. More than 60% of passenger vehicles are 8 years old or older. 25% are at least 16 years of age. Together, this represents 244 million prospective parts, tire, and service targets. We say prospective because the vast majority of these vehicles are being serviced outside the franchise dealer channel. Would you like to capture your share of this nearly $400 billion opportunity? Epicor is ready to help. Our solutions are enabling thousands of automotive businesses to address every customer pay parts, tire, and service opportunity for virtually any vehicle, regardless of make, model, or year. We're helping service providers build customer relationships spanning the full vehicle lifecycle, from the end of the factory warranty to the day the vehicle is scrapped. We're putting the industry's most complete parts, tire, and labor data at the fingertips of thousands of service advisors every day. We've created a faster, more accurate estimating process for customer pay jobs that helps dealers increase average RO and service lane productivity. We offer real-time information on local parts and tire availability and pricing to speed every job, increase customer satisfaction, and boost the dealer's absorption rate. And we're helping parts departments establish real-time visibility and control of their inventories to increase efficiency and reduce operating costs. Epicor is ready to help your fixed ops teams achieve the same impressive results. Own every non-warranty parts, tire, and service opportunity, all makes, all models, all customers. Now you can with Epicor. Contact us today to learn more.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Vanessa Collins, joined by Ted Ings, Dr. Matt Bennett, Vice President of Strategic Alliances at Northwood University, and Ryan McGinty, Senior Manager at Reynolds & Reynolds and Northwood alumni. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for being here at Northwood University in Midland, Michigan. Matt, if I may come to you, there's been some big fundraising announcements, if I may say, at Northwood. How is that going to impact what's happening here and what you do?
Well, first, Ted, thanks for being here. It's a privilege to always host you and your team at Northwood University. We appreciate all that you do for the industry, and certainly at America's Free Enterprise University, we're proud to really promote and engage all the sponsors and groups that you engage. But with regard to what we're cooking in this automotive space, we were really excited over the last month and a half or so to be gifted 2 significant gifts to Northwood to really double down in Northwood's commitment to the automotive and mobility space. Most notably, for those who have been on our beautiful campus, we have our NADA Hotel and Conference Center on this campus, which houses our automotive marketing and a lot of programming and our hospitality programs on campus. Fortunately, we were gifted a total of $10 million, 2 $5 million gifts, led by Dr. Alan Wildstein, an esteemed Northwood University alum and automotive dealer with Alan J. Automotive in the Florida marketplace. Gifted us with a lead gift of $5 million. And then we also, and thank you to Ryan and his team, were gifted by Reynolds and Reynolds, a long industry partner, with another $5 million to help support what's shaping up to be one of the largest capital investment projects at Northwood University to renovate that space and really help Northwood launch our Center for Automotive and Mobility Studies.
And Ryan, it sounds like not only is Northwood doubling down, but Reynolds is doubling down on Northwood.
Yeah, absolutely. We love the partnership with Northwood, and it's awesome to see the company that I work for invest back into my alma mater. It's one thing that I love about Reynolds and Reynolds, and I've been with the company for 15 years, just over 15 years, and it just puts another notch in their belt for why they're the best company to work for. So.
And it goes decades in the making, if I may. And God rest his soul, we lost our former president, Dr. David E. Fry, this past year. We celebrated him in this room just a few weeks ago, but he sat on the board of Reynolds and Reynolds for years. Mm-hmm. And so having those folks back, having your leadership on campus just a few weeks ago, Ryan, the likes of Shon with Reynolds and Reynolds and others, you kind of got goosebumps just thinking about all of the ghosts, right, that had a hand in shaping this monumental gift that will shape the futures of the industry and really shape the career trajectories of students like Ryan and Matt Bennett, who are alums of Northwood, Vanessa, all who have the privilege of working and learning on this campus with faculty and the experiences.
And Ryan, clearly Reynolds sees the future, and that future Northwood is a big part of that future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we try and tap into the Northwood alumni as much as we possibly can, whether it be to work with them in automotive dealerships or whether it be to hire them to come work for Reynolds and Reynolds. I mean, I'm living proof of that.
Now, how have the synergies of career services and strategic alliances helped Northwood University?
Oh, they're peas in a pod, if I may. We've really embraced the opportunity about relationship building. We really have embraced the phrase partner and prosper, and that really aligns with the employers across the industry. So working with our career services and professional development team under the leadership of Dr. Steve Poole and Kim Warner, we have automotive organizations that span the entire industry, really working to learn what their gaps are, what their needs are. We have them visit not only the automotive and aftermarket classes, but as our president will continually remark to many groups, finance, accounting, cybersecurity, all of those are needs that the automotive industry organizations have and need. And so really building those foundations to address needs and those gaps helps with the attraction of new talent, which is a significant opportunity, but also by sharing what Northwood can do to continue to help these organizations maintain talent through continual training, education, whether it be undergraduate, graduate, or custom education and training. We really want to provide that self-fulfilling prophecy for our partners in these alliance relationships to not only attract, but retain talent, and then everybody wins in that scenario.
And it's an exciting time right now to be in the automotive industry, probably the most exciting time in the last 50 to 100 years. And it sounds like there's a lot of exciting news and energy here at Northwood as well, Matt. Matt, first you and then Ryan, what are you looking forward to the most here coming up the balance of 2024 and going into 25?
Success. We have doubled down. We have been partners in this industry for 60 plus years. We're going to celebrate our 61st annual Northwood University International Auto Show, which we've got a former chair of that show as a student. And for those that don't know, that show is run by our students. So that's that immersive experience. So we've got that on the docket. We're really proud to announce that we just hired, for the first time in Northwood's history, a professor of automotive strategy that will work with the likes of Elgie Bright. We're pleased to welcome Dr. David Oventhal, which will represent our Subaru of New England professor of automotive strategy. Dave will really hit the ground running, providing research, faculty and teaching assignments, but also to serve as center stage, talking about the mobility and automotive sector as a whole. Plus, with hopefully some more fund support and investment, we'll break ground on that NADA 2.0, if you will, with the gifts that we've received to really launch that Center for Automotive and Mobility Studies to provide training at the degree as well as non-degree level at all areas.
And Ryan, what are you looking forward to in 2024 and 25?
I can't not say the auto show as well. That's something that I look forward to every single year, is coming back to enjoy the auto show here on campus. But I'm really looking forward to seeing the new building get put together. And honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing how technology is impacted in the automotive sector. From everything like cybersecurity, just to how we can utilize the software, utilize data management systems, utilize retail management systems in every single day life within car dealerships.
Well, and what's really unique about even the renderings of this new space is, for those who've had the privilege of being on our campus, it's in nature. It's representative of the Frank Lloyd Wright style of architecture, right? His prized pupil was Alden B. Dow. So we're actually going to be leveraging that alignment for an inspired building and facility in that space. And really, it's about how we can provide dynamic learning opportunities and environments for the likes of Vanessa and others in our industry and aspiring students to really learn, cut their teeth, demonstrate that grit that Professor Bright always talks about, and really become active and prepared contributors for whatever role they take in the industry.
Well, congratulations to both of you and your respective organizations, Reynolds and Reynolds, and Northwood University, and all the exciting things that are about to happen.
Thank you, Ted.
Thanks, Ted.
Everybody, we are at Northwood University in Midland, Michigan. Stay with us at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We have a lot more coming up. We will be right back.
It's time to discover a brighter future together. Fixed Ops Roundtable certified partners can maximize their results with their products and market their certified partnership status. Start discovering your possibilities at fixedopsroundtablecertified.com.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Vanessa Collins, joined by Ted Ings, Richard Lupo, John Mord, and Jake Aschendorf, and we're here to talk all things Elite Extra.
Everybody, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Glad to have you here at Northwood University in beautiful Midland, Michigan. John, you and I met a few months back on one of the roundtables that we did. I want to start with you today. Managing staffing shortages at the dealership, particularly among dealership staff, that's a challenge for retailers. Retailers such as Richard. How is Elite Extra helping dealers supplement their delivery fleets and deliver more with less?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I'm sure Richard can agree on the staffing shortage side of things. The first thing to say is that really we break it up into two different areas. First is being able to be more efficient with your internal fleet. What technology can you leverage to make sure that you are doing more with less? And that can come through automation. So if you think about it as Richard, I'm going to use you as an example. As you guys are writing orders that are going to have to get delivered to your customers, so it all starts with the DMS integration, having those orders come into technology, automation of the route building, the optimization of the routes, and then even automating them to the drivers that are going to be doing the deliveries. It seems that when you talk about things like that, the buzzwords are button clicks. How do I say button clicks? Button clicks equates to time. And so if I can save button clicks, I'm going to save time. The second part of that then is really on the staffing shortage side. If you don't have enough drivers, if you've got too much volume that you need to get out, how am I going to get that product to the customer? That's where something like a third-party delivery network can really be powerful and game-changing. Being able to leverage third-party fleets like DoorDash, like Go Local, like Curry, so that you can actually manage your fleet and leverage the third-party fleets and automatically call them in to pick up a part and complete a delivery on your behalf. So those are probably the two biggest areas that stand out when you think about how do I manage more with less.
Jake, could you weigh in on that as well?
Yeah, so Ted, I'm going to sum that all up as you know, Epicor, we're a data company. It's all about the data. So we're bringing those actionable data and turning data into insights so that dealers can more efficiently staff and use it.
So Richard, you're at retail over at Accu-Trade, Honda and Acura. Tell us your thoughts.
The analytics part of it, taking that data, those Lego blocks, and building that model, being able to tell in real costs what deviating from that route and what it actually costs to do that hot shot in actual data means a lot. Coming up with creative solutions like DoorDash to deliver parts, integrating that all into one thing makes it makes a big difference in the efficiency of your operation, getting the most out of your resources, assets that you have, the greatest one being your people.
That's fine. Good luck.
So as we all know, customer service can be a huge differentiator in winning and keeping customers. So my question is, how does Elite Extra help dealers provide a high-level customer experience when it comes to their wholesale parts deliveries?
Yeah, great question. Historically, and I'm going to bring everybody that's been in the business 1 year or 40 years back, but historically, customer service has always been a reactive thought. You waited until the customer called to give them an update on the status of their order. And so how do you turn that reactiveness into being proactive? And that really comes through just open communication, open visibility. That can be done several different ways. It can be done through email notifications, text notifications, e-commerce integrations, so that you can send data proactively to the customer, answer their questions before they even know that they have a question, so that they can stay informed, they can stay up to date as far as when is my part going to get here, what's the status of it, who actually it was delivered, who did you leave it with? Because now I have to go find that person to figure out where is this part at. So being able to share all of that information, again, in an automated fashion, but being more proactive than reactive is really the key there to make sure that you're leveraging the best customer experience that you can.
Jake, your thoughts?
Yeah, so as we all know, CSI and customer satisfaction is at the cornerstone of every business, right? And it always seems that the happy customers are always willing to pay a little bit more, or they forgive you when you do have one little misstep. So every single interaction that we can have with the customer, if we can make it memorable and we take care of them from a customer service aspect, just means that they're going to be loyal to the experience more so than anything.
And Richard, this is very innovative. Some of the things that they're doing, utilizing things like DoorDash and some of the things we've heard today.
Sure.
On the parts side of all things.
Yeah. I want to actually throw it back to you for just a second, because CSI, CSE, ACE for Acura, what we deal with, this customer satisfaction. We here at Northwood talking to these young students, it is about relationships. And one of the things that you put out front is Midwest Nice, right?
Yeah.
And your solution is truly comprehensive and catching all these different aspects. But Midwest Nice is where it starts with you guys, right?
Absolutely.
Tell us about that. Tell me about that.
John?
Yeah, I mean, Midwest Nice, it's a thing. I mean, that's great to hear you say, because it's a thing. And I think it goes back to some of the other messaging that we heard. It's just how you treat people.
Yeah.
To piggyback off of what Jake said, if you treat people good, they're going to forgive you if there is a misstep. It's when those missteps happen, how do you handle them? And the Midwest Nice is a thing, making people feel comfortable about it, but also being able to share information that's both accurate and in real time is also part of that, so that you're not only just being Midwest Nice, you're sharing information that they can trust.
Right, right.
John, at the most recent Fixed Ops Roundtable was when Epicor introduced Elite Extra to a lot of the members of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and we started talking about things like returns management, and I was surprised to learn there are a number of Fixed Ops Roundtable dealers who are utilizing Elite Extra. You had a dealer in Texas who was on there as well. The returns and managing that continues to be one of the biggest challenges for dealers. What capabilities does Elite Extra offer to do this?
And we could spend the rest of the day talking about the trouble and the problems within the returns management process. Yeah. But I think everybody would agree the returns side of the business has been one area that's been untouched for years as it relates to technology to manage returns. One of the great things is that we got started in the dealer space 15 years ago. And so we've been sitting here for 15 years watching the problems in the returns process. And so bringing that consumer-like experience to the B2B world was a big focus of ours. And so if I had to sum it all up and take a 3-hour conversation and sum it up into how does returns management really, or returns automation really help a dealer, it really comes down to really 3 areas. First off, it's going to be a part that you sold them. And so, you don't get parts back at the dealership anymore and say, I didn't even sell them this part. So it can guarantee that you actually sold them the part. The second thing is visibility. So not only internal visibility of the status of the return, but really making sure that the customer is up to date as far as what is the status of my return? Is it picked up? Has it been picked up? What's the status of the credit? All of that can be encompassed within the returns automation process. And the third is really being able to automate your returns policy, so that even before, as the customer initiates a return, you can automate and enforce your returns policy to really set the stages of, I'm going to automatically accept this return. I'm going to need to get approval on this return because it falls outside of some window. Or 3, I'm just going to automatically decline it. It doesn't meet any of, it's a special order. It doesn't meet any of the policies that we have related to returns. And so those are probably the 3 biggest areas in which the returns automation process can really help streamline the process for the dealers.
Jake, this is starting to sound a little bit like Amazon, some of the things. You're taking a page from their book.
Yeah, there's no secret, right? We win them with and wow them with customer service when we sell the part. But when they do make a mistake or it's not the right part, how do we take care of them from that standpoint? So returns automation is a huge game changer for dealers and everybody to be able to now automate and give that same upfront customer experience when it's not that good experience, right? They're already upset. They've already wasted time. They have the wrong part. Now their end customer is upset. Let's at least make it automated and easy and efficient for them to now return the part and get the credit that's needed.
Does that make sense for dealers like you?
It does, and if I might drill down just a little bit on that. So if we're serving a lot of collision repair customers, and we're sending out a crash parts kit, and then getting returns back, dealing with insurance companies. And the amount of parts that we send out versus what we get back are sometimes different. Mm-hmm. And your solution for that is very, 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 very helpful.
Right. Yeah, being able to drill all the way down to that line item. Yeah. Absolutely.
And the people that are in that sector of the business know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's a great solution.
Yeah, excellent.
Data and analytics drive so much of our business today. So pivoting a little, my question is, where does Elite Extra leverage data to increase efficiency of the dealers and provide insights into their operations?
Yeah, and it all starts, in my mind, with the integrations into the different DMSs, whether you're running Reynolds and Reynolds, CDK, Techion, DealerTrack. It all starts there because that's where a lot of the data is being housed and being shared and integrated into solutions like ours. And so being able to leverage that data and then incorporate all the data that's being collected as parts are out for delivery is really going to show dealers how efficient are we being as efficient as we can with how we're staffing ourselves. What are some of the exceptions? What didn't we do so well today? Being proactive in addressing those, and then drilling down into how profitable is that route. I'm going across the state every single day. Am I making money on that? Do I need to adjust that? And so being able to take all of the data and analytics that relates to that and combining it with the data that you get and store within the DMS is a pretty key component to making sure that you're efficient.
Well, John, I want to thank you and I want to thank Jake for bringing this to the forefront, both Elite Extra and Epicor. What a great combination, Jake.
We couldn't be happier.
Yep, absolutely.
And Richard, thank you so much for being involved with us today. All right, thank you. And all you do for fixed operations. Everybody, stay with us. We're going to be right back. We're here at Northwood University. We'll be back with the Fixed Ops Roundtable in just a moment.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We are coming to you live from Northwood's beautiful campus. I'm Vanessa Collins, joined by Ted Ings and Ryan McGinty, Senior Manager at Reynolds & Reynolds and Northwood alumni.
That's right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ryan, great to see you. I saw you at the auto show last October here in Midland, Michigan. So thank you so much for coming back.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't miss it.
All right. So tell us about this year's Reynolds Retail Summit.
Yeah, this year Reynolds Amplify Retail Summit is going to be August 19th through the 20th. It's going to be in Leesburg, Virginia at the Lansdowne Resort. We're really excited about it. Last year we had the retail summit at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and it was a big success. So we're really looking forward to everybody coming out to the resort this year and getting to learn a little bit about some best practices.
Awesome. So what does Reynolds exactly have planned for this event?
Let's see. Well, as I mentioned, it's a 2-day event. The first day, there's a golf event, which is going to be a great opportunity for dealers to network and get to talk and meet other dealers, as well as give some team building opportunities for the team members that they bring to the golf event. Then in day 2, we've got a lot of breakout sessions and small groups where we're going to be talking about best practices from everywhere, from everything from accounting through parts, service, sales, and F&I. It's going to be a great opportunity for dealers and their teams to listen and learn and hopefully take some ideas back to their dealership and implement them in ways that they can become more efficient and even more profitable. And then we also have 2 keynotes this year as well. And then we're ending with a new contest that Reynolds and Reynolds is putting on.
I've seen a little bit about that. So Ryan, tell us a little bit more about the contest.
Sure. The contest is open to all U.S. dealership employees. It's designed to really highlight the innovators and the outside-the-box thinkers in our industry. All that people have to do is submit in one of 3 categories. We've got fixed ops, we've got variable ops, and we've got community. But submit their innovative ideas or their best practices in ways that they've helped solve problems or resolved and had solutions to issues that were going on in either the dealerships or their community.
Wow. So we know about the contest, but what happens after they submit their ideas?
Let's see. Well, once we get all the submissions, we're going to narrow it down to 9 finalists. The finalists will be invited to the summit where they're going to be able to present their ideas. Then we're going to have 3 winners, 1 in each category. So 1 variable ops winner, fixed ops winner, and 1 community winner. And Reynolds and Reynolds will be donating $5,000 to a charity of the winner's choice. So it's going to be a really good event, and I'm looking forward to it.
Any cost to enter?
Nope, no cost to enter. And actually, the 9 semifinalists will get to come to the resort on a Reynolds dime. So we will cover their travel and their lodging as well.
Okay, so this is Amplify. The dates again are
August 19th and 20th.
And where's it again?
It's in Leesburg, Virginia at the Lansdowne Resort.
Excellent.
This sounds like an amazing event. Is there anything else that we should know?
Reynolds does have a really big announcement that we're going to be making at the Retail Summit. I can't go into any details. However, I can assure you that it's very, very big. The other thing is, if you want more information, please go to rayray.com. We've got information on the summit as well as the contest. So we're really looking forward to having everybody come out and experience what the Reynolds solutions can do in their dealerships, and also experience the small groups and understand best practices that go on in dealerships today.
Awesome.
Well, Ryan McGinty, thank you so much on behalf of Reynolds and Reynolds being with us here today at Northwood University. Everybody, Amplify, the Reynolds Retail Summit is coming up. It'll be here before we know it. Yeah. Again, August 19th and 20th.
You got it.
All right. Everybody stay with us here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We're going to be right back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Katrina Ness with Ted Ings at Northwood University. We have an amazing panel with us with Jenna Smith and Jean Ings, and I would like them to introduce themselves.
My name is Jean Ings. I'm a writer for Quantum 5.
My name is Jenna Smith, and I am the owner and founder of Revved Up Solutions.
All right, well, ladies, thank you very much for being with us. I'm sure there's more to you than what we just heard, so I want to take a little bit of a deeper dive if I could. Jenna, tell us about yourself. I understand your family has a history in automotive, and how we ended up here at Northwood.
Well, so Ted, I have been in the automotive industry my entire life. I think I have fuel in my veins, actually. Third generation automotive on the retail side of things. However, I've branched off to helping all industry professionals. I spent a lot of time in the retail side. I worked business development, spent some time in my career on the vendor side with Cox Automotive, and then started my boutique consulting company 5 years ago.
And tell us a little bit more about that, because that's really relevant. One of the things we're talking about at the Fixed Ops Roundtable is how now this is an age of video, and I think you've honed in on that.
So I provide a 90-day boot camp for professionals that are looking to communicate with their audiences, whether they're using email, text, or social media platforms.
And is that something that's done, you do that remotely, or is that in person? Or?
So I can do a combination of both, or one or the other, whatever the preferences of the client.
Okay. And Jean, tell us a little bit more about yourself, a little bit more.
Yeah, so my background is actually in screenwriting and filmmaking. And it wasn't until 2.5 years ago I was working on a final project my senior year. And I snapped a picture of myself in the library editing late at night, as always. And my father had posted it on LinkedIn, a little proud dad moment there. And from that post, I was able to connect to David O'Brien and get an internship at Quantum 5. And 2.5 years later, I've been working there full time. And it's been such a great opportunity. I mean, I never saw myself being in automotive, but I know how much passion my dad has for the industry, and being able to actually step in his little bit of his footsteps there has been such a great experience. And I definitely have found my spot in automotive and being able to bring my creative background to what I do.
No, wait a minute. I remember maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago, you told me you were going to have nothing to do with automotive in your career. What happened?
I think, honestly, you just have to be open to the opportunities that come, and you'll never know where they take you and how they'll change you. And I'm glad that I was, because otherwise I wouldn't be here with you guys today.
Oh, I love that.
You know what? It is an industry full of opportunities, Katrina. And
It really
we
is.
see that all the time.
It really is. And speaking of opportunities, I've had the opportunity to work with Jenna for the past probably 9 months. And so do you want to talk about your involvement in Northwood and what you kind of do here?
Yes, so I'm part of Team Elgie Bright. He's the automotive chair for Northwood University, and he's known me and seen me grow up in the auto industry. About 2 years ago, General Motors and Elgie worked together on getting a generous sponsorship to put on a high school camp. It's a 6-day residential camp here on campus. It's actually happening right now. And students are coming in from all over the country to learn more about the automotive industry and see where they could have a potential career in it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you work with not just the Northwood students, but these are high school students at this automotive camp that you mentioned with Elgie. And that's quite an event, because you're exposing them to not just campus life, but there's a lot of great activities that you do. Tell us about some of those things.
So we plan activities all 6 days that they're here. Some days are on campus, some days are field trips out in the field around Michigan. Just for some examples, since they've been here, they've toured 3 dealerships. They went to the Mannheim Auto Auction in Detroit yesterday. They spent some time learning about the history of automotive, because that's so important, the restoration and preservation of our artifacts. And so they visited the Automotive Hall of Fame, and they also visited the Sloan Museum of Discovery.
And I can tell you that there's no way we would have pulled off this Fixed Ops Roundtable at Northwood University without the help of Jenna Smith, because she helped oversee everything. And I mean, from early morning until late in the day, she was making sure nothing got overlooked along the way. So
well, thank you,
I want to
Ted.
thank you for doing that.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And
Yeah.
this has come a long way. My daughter will remember when she was in college and came home during that period of time. about 4 years ago when the whole world changed. She came home from school and she saw me, Katrina, in the living room, okay? And I had this bright light and I had the computer going. And she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, we're doing this thing called the Fixed Ops Roundtable." Do you remember that?
I do. I remember seeing all the bells and whistles behind the scenes and getting to see a peek of what the Fixed Ops Roundtable was, and going from that humble setup to where we are now with these great studio lights, good cameras, and great people. It's been amazing to see how it's grown over such a short amount of time.
And Jean, you've really grown inside of this company as well, the Fixed Ops Roundtable. You've made your own path and you do a lot for us here too.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to be a part of it as well. Working with my dad and Katrina and Vanessa has been a great opportunity to honestly just be a part of all this wonderful magic that you guys make happen.
And your thoughts on some of the things that I mentioned with Janet, video being a big part of our lives today. How do you contribute to that and what do you do here at the Roundtable?
Absolutely. I mean, for the Fixed Ops Roundtable, I help with a lot of the social media that Katrina and Vanessa and my dad and even Sarah Van all work with. And coming up with ideas for marketing our new events, writing the transitions for our events when we're introducing a new speaker or a panel, and we got to say it in a fun and catchy way that ties with the theme. That's me behind the scenes there. And even just video in general, I think is so important just to bring life to automotive, and really, it's an easy way to connect to customers and connect to our community. So, yeah.
So, Jenna, all of our 4-day events have a theme, okay?
I've seen that online. You're kind of famous.
Well, Katrina, what's our next theme we'll have coming up?
It is Summer Palooza, so we're super excited for that. It'll be a little bit of the end of summer bash, and it'll be an amazing event.
Well, so want to have you back for that as well, okay?
Oh, sure.
We have a lot going on, and how are we going to top that? What's the next theme going to be after Summer Palooza?
It's going to be a hard one to top.
So on the topic of social media a little bit, do you, either of you have any tips for social media?
Well, I'd say one of my tips is that you just need to be authentic. You need to be yourself. People want to know you and do business with you. They do business with people that they know, love, and trust. And so if you are your true authentic self on social media, that's going to come through in anything that you're doing, and people are going to resonate with it, and they're going to want to transact with you, whether you're selling cars or parts, doesn't matter.
I love it. It's just building your personal brand and making it their authentic self.
I love it. Yeah.
And building off of that, I would even say just be what you want to see in the world, If you want to see more videos of being authentic or more videos of just the behind the scenes, be the first one to put that step forward and go and show that to the world. And don't be afraid to show who you are.
So, Jenna, if our audience wants to reach out to you or learn more about what you do, what's the best way they can find you?
Well, I do have a website, www.revdupsolutions.com. I'm also on the social media channels, and I do have a better half, Casey the Auto Guy, Jenna the Auto Gal on Facebook. We have a fun little banter, and that's our brand on the retail side of things. But I'm Revved Up Solutions on Instagram and Facebook and on LinkedIn.
Everybody, Jenna Smith helping us get revved up here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and Jean Ings, thank you so much for what both of you do for our industry.
Thank you.
Everybody, we're at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We're at Northwood University. We're here in Midland, Michigan, and we're going to be right back. Well, ladies, this has been an amazing event at Northwood University, our pop-up event, and I tell you what, it worked out really well.
It did. It was truly amazing.
So Thank you for all that you do, by the way, at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And we can see what the future of automotive looks like with both of you here at Northwood.
Thank you so much, Ted. Everyone, stay tuned for our next event, Summerpalooza, happening September 16th through the 19th. As always, you can get your complimentary tickets right now at fixedopsroundtable.com.
But in the meantime, you will want to tune in to our After Dark shows every Monday and Wednesday night, starting at 8. You don't want to miss out on those.
Everybody, I'm Ted Ings with Vanessa Collins and Katrina Ness on behalf of Northwood University and the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you soon.